on YouTube. Anyway, what I was saying is that like his numbers were consistently at 100 until the partner push was over, and then they immediately dropped back down to 40 or 30, right? And usually, I would not be like talking about how bad somebody else's numbers are, but when you're sitting here being like partner should be hard to attain, and like you potentially botted yourself there. Or at the very least, he put partner push in his title to get people who don't normally view him to watch him so that he can be partnered. You can't do this, right? And then have this take. You can't. You can't. In my personal opinion, I don't think you can do that. Right? What's the benefit of partner anyway? You get the badge. And if you go to TwitchCon, there's like a partner lounge. Honestly, it's pretty much the same benefit that existed before they changed the requirements, which is not really much. It's good for networking. It's good for like demonstrating to like sponsors and people like that you are legitimate. Does it help discoverability at all? No, not really. Not really. There's very little difference between an affiliate that gets 30 viewers and a Twitch partner that gets 30 viewers. You don't get a base salary as a partner? No. No. You think I get a base salary being a streamer, chat? You think Twitch gives me anything? Does it impress girls? I hope so. I thought so. No. At the very least, Twitch partners don't. I can't speak, right? I can't speak to like what like the star streamers, like people who have like Twitch priority get. I don't think they do either, but like I do not get a base fee or base salary as a partner. I'm not an employee of Twitch. Coveted car though, yeah. Right, but I will say that I do slightly understand where this person comes from, right? I think it comes from it in a perspective of like viewing Twitch as a zero-sum game where like you are in competition with other streamers, and Twitch doesn't do that much to like actually combat that narrative. You know what I mean? Love your work. Finding out about you. You should be the KKKlein Quant FD, intellectual media, among others. Thanks for helping me expand my worldview. W. BM Binder. Hello. All those people now owe me money and a referral fee. But yeah, I get having that perspective because Twitch does not do much to like incentivize a cooperative streaming ecosystem, or at least they didn't. You know what I mean? They didn't before introducing some new features. And so I get why you would feel as though like Twitch making it easier to get partner would devalue something that you've grinded for, right? But like honestly, this guy doesn't get it. Like, this guy doesn't get it. He got partnered this year when Twitch made it easier, right, to get partnered. You know what I mean? He didn't remember how it was 2 years ago where Twitch is like, oh, if you do a certain type of content we don't like, we're not going to partner you. If you don't consistently get over 100 viewers, we're not going to partner you. Even though the thing says 75 viewers, even if you have the viewership, you have the notoriety on other platforms, we're still not going to partner you because you don't do gaming content. Oh, you do gaming content, but your viewership is low, you can't apply anymore, right? I remember almost quitting streaming, right? Because Twitch, like, made it clear that my content was not what they were prioritizing. I applied for partner like 5 times. 5 separate times. Denied, 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 denied. Are there any big streamers that aren't partnered? Not necessarily, not anymore. There used to be. But now Twitch is like handing out partner to people who they definitely shouldn't. Like freaking, what's his face? Cuff him or whatever. Like the partnership team is approaching Cuff him to like bring him back on their site. Right? And give him a partnership to do so. Because they're trying to kick people back. They just likely gave it out depending on the content people put out. Yes. Like if you did like React content, they would say you're too reactionary and we can't partner you because of it. So if you did like news coverage and you weren't Hasan, you weren't getting partnered, right? Like Gremlo had trouble getting partnered as well. I don't know if y'all remember that. Gremlo was like averaging like 1,000 viewers. I mean, maybe not that much, but like 700, 800 viewers. And then Twitch was like, oh, you're too reactionary, so you can't get partnered. Right, that was before I even started streaming. And then they did the same thing to me, where I was streaming for like 9 months before they even partnered me at all. And I met the requirements my second month, Chad. I met the requirement my second month. I can show you. Here. Like I started streaming in April, and in June I was averaging 100 viewers. July 144, right? 112. I would apply, they'd be like denied, too reactionary, denied, too reactionary, right? And then they were like, you need to do more gaming. I did gaming, my viewership dropped, and then they said, oh, you don't have enough viewership to be a partner anyway. You feel me? Until January 2024, where they finally accepted me, and then I went to Streamer Awards because I nominated for Hidden Gem, and then my viewership spiked, and I've been kind of on the upturn ever since. Right, and now I'm washed because I'm at 400 viewers. But like, it's weird to view like your achievement in this light, because it's not good for your mental health. It's not. You know, viewing achievements that you set for yourself as goals in comparison to other people is not good for your mental health. You know, it's not. You should not view it like that either. Right? Because having this mindset is not going to lead to you actually creating a community. It's going to be very hard to create a community if I'm like, you know, how dare Gremlo be a Twitch partner when I'm a Twitch partner, right? Or how dare freaking Jason be a Twitch partner? Why would they partner Jason? You know what I mean? Like, you're not building a community by attacking streamers in your space because you think that they're undeserving for it. You feel me? You're just not. It's not good for building your community space. It's not good for, you know, not being toxic. Right? And honestly, people can turn that back around on you and be like, well, you actually don't deserve it, which people are doing. You know? But honestly, I just like that the thin purple line we're getting out there, chat. We are almost breaching into public consciousness. I just need somebody completely separate from us to post about the thin purple line, and we're there. We're there. Because if you didn't know, chat, if you didn't know, the term originally was coined by Shakur back in late 2023, early 2024. I think most people check if somebody is partnered before they click on their stream, so there's no financial benefit. No, there is. And there only is because of networking. So like if I were to go into somebody else's chat, even somebody in a chat that I do not chat in, if I were to post a message, people would pay attention to that message. Right? So there's not like a direct financial benefit for it, but like streamers, when another streamer comes in with a partner badge, pays attention to it, right? Because that's just kind of how you've been like, you know, that's how it comes across. Oh, this person is also a streamer. Oh, this person has a community. It is clout. You know? It's clout. And that's just the case. Also, upvote. You know? And so there is a benefit that comes with like having that like badge that Twitch stamps on you being like, hey, this person creates content that we think is decent or good. And so if I go into somebody's chat and I'm chatting there, right, it's essentially like networking. Right? It's essentially like a community building. Right? Because if I see a streamer that comes into here who chats into my stream, I'm like, oh, okay, it's somebody that, you know, has an interest in helping me grow my space. Maybe I should go return the favor. Right? Maybe I should see what they're getting up to in their space. Because I assume if somebody watching me, they have good politics, you know? And so I'm going to go check them out and see like, hey, do they have good politics? So here's the Disney Channel applause track when partners come in. I do. Hold on. Where's it at? I can't find it. Anyway, you know what I mean. But I thought it was pretty funny. But I will put it to the side.
Should I start off with drama? Now you
Drama? Sorry. Drama? I heard drama. I locked in. Yes, please.
usually reply to stream charts based off the position I was in the world for streaming. They would always post like a top 10 YouTube streamers, and then I would post like this because I would end up being like 9th or 8th sometimes, mostly losing to VTubers in Japan and Indonesian streamers. Look at the pricing. If you want unlimited access, priority support, and CSV download for 54 plus million channels and other units, for YouTube Live, it's $500. Twitch, $300. You know, look at the cost. They DM me because they have been doing a deep dive on view botting. Now, view botting obviously has been a big conversation point, but I haven't seen a lot of people talk about their reporting here. Now, they made this huge report. Like, I'll show you. They made a like 66 slide report called the hidden cost of view botting. And, you know, the main goal of the report is ultimately to expose the realities of view botting. What they don't do in this 66 page dissertation is like, they're not like phase Lacey bot, XQC bot.
Why would they not? Why are people so scared of doing that? It's not like it's going to change anything. People aren't going to stop watching Lacey, right? If he's view botting. Right? Or XQC if he's view botting.
Bots, squeaks, bot. They don't do that to show you the overall amount of people botting. So anyway, I read through it a bit, skimmed through it, and I found a few pages that I saw that were interesting. So we're going to go through these together. First one here, data confirms view botting is spreading, right? View botting is actually more of a problem.
I rewind and show up late, even though my solo dev TV app had this feature months ago. Twitch is behind again, I guess.
Than that has ever.
We don't want to burn bridges, I guess. Yeah, and I think that's cowardly and lame and cowardly. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why people don't want to burn bridges from a human aspect, but like, it's lame. You know what I mean? Stand for something. Stand behind something. Or you're messy. I mean, probably. That's probably a part of it too. You know? But at least stand for something. I think that's crazy. To imagine you stand for literally anything. You can't simultaneously be like, oh, viewbotting is bad, but then refuse to like call out people that you know, or at least think or suspect of viewbotting. Right? Because then you don't actually think it's bad, you know? People being like, you know, viewbotting actually happens so much, but I'm not going to say who's doing it. Do you actually think it's bad then?
Now, the way that they determine if someone is viewbotting, aka the higher percentage you have of authorized viewers, the more legit your stream is. Does that make sense? And I don't know if you guys have ever done it on Twitch. They ask you at some point to become an authorized viewer, which I think is connecting your cell phone to your account on a logged in.
Well, to be entirely fair, mine is pretty high because you literally can't chat without having a phone or email verified onto your account. Like you can't chat without that. So at the very least, like if you come into my stream as somebody who's not verified, you're just gonna leave if you don't want to verify it, right? But if you're like freaking, you know, FaZe Lacey or whatever, I don't know if Lacey really cares. What's the worst way you see your name spell out? Why do you ask?
Now, that's the methodology. Now let's see how it affects Twitch. So they measured every Twitch channel with over 50
All chatters here
viewers
have their email or phone number verified? Yes.
Past 2 years. Okay?
To chat,
From quarter
please.
1, 2023 to now. They measured 50 plus. They have flagged, okay? And again, flagging is when it's between 0 and 50% verified users, logged in users. Over, I don't know what this number
Are you
is.
sure I get a message that I'm not verified in runes, but not yours? I'm pretty sure that's how I set it up. Let's see. Moderation. Oh, if your account's older than 3 months, then you don't have to be verified. Right? So if you have like an older account, you don't have to be verified. But if you have a new account, you do have to be verified. That's what it is.
70% of streams, 60% of streams, basically 46,000 streams of the like 64,000 people who go live, suspicious during at least one broadcast. The bar for that is literally one broadcast. There's no problems at all for those channels. This is suspicious. They've had like one or a handful of streams that might seem unusual or botted. And confirmed is when they are consistently marked as being botted. The only thing I think matters here is the bright ping. All right, I'll be honest, because these could be outliers. They could be, I don't know, fucking front page. It could be, you know what happens a lot? I'll tell you some real shit. Sometimes when streamers do sponsored streams, the marketing company that the sponsor hires viewbots the streamer. That happens a bunch. That's it. So like, you know, it would not.
I think it's also important to note that streamers, like the fact that streamers are talking about this shows that they've known about it for a while. And some of them continue to work with the same sponsors. I just want to say that. What? Someone say something? Did someone say something? I didn't say anything.
Not surprise me if that was a large portion of them. But anyway, the bright pink is what matters. And the bright pink is what also is getting bigger. Like you can see quarter over quarter, it is becoming more and more commonplace. Now, of course, the overall number is also increasing. That's kind of crazy to me. Over 4,400.
Is that what just his interest? I don't know if I watched anything from him, but he hangs around mostly left people, does he not? Ludwig is a liberal, in my personal opinion. If you ask me, like, what do I think Ludwig's like political ideology is? I think he's a liberal, but his persona online is of a centrist because even while being a liberal, he does not like put his platform at any risk by speaking up on things that liberals even care about. A capitalist lib, by the way. I mean, yeah, all liberals are capitalists. Past years have really shown the difference between a liberal and a leftist. Yeah. Is that his priority? Is his image? Yeah. His friends are pretty leftist. He's an outlier in his friend group. No, yeah, maybe. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I won't like. I don't have enough information to litigate like exactly how leftist his friend group is, but like at the very least, he's a liberal. He's not like a conservative, right? I think you can very obviously tell who in the streaming space are conservatives. You feel me? I don't think he's a conservative. I think he's just a liberal. I know Aiden and Slime are lefter than him for sure. You can tell, yeah. Basically, who says slurs? Who says slurs?
Persistent view botting, 4,400 people. So Q2 2025, 10% of streamers displayed clear signs of persistent view botting. But what's more interesting, or maybe equally interesting, this was the graph for Twitch, right? This is the graph for Kick. In Q2 2025, 1 in every 6 Kick streamers are marked as high risk of view botting, which, by the way, I feel like Kick had a reputation, or maybe has a reputation of view botting. Was not the case before. Like maybe this is a case of like, you know, reputation preceding action, and because everyone thinks everyone view bots, now everyone does view bot. But it wasn't the case even a quarter ago. Like the number tripled between Q1 and Q2. Like tripled, bro. That's insane. That's a crazy jump. The data clearly demonstrated that view botting is not only a persistent issue, but one that continues to grow, affecting an increasing number of streamers and platforms alike. While Twitch remains a primary battleground due to its size and influence, the problem extends far beyond a single service. Other streaming platforms, including emerging competitors, also face similar challenges as fraudulent viewership tactics evolve and adapt, which is kind of insane. Now, again, nobody is specifically called out by name. If you ever wanted to check if someone view botted, you could, just to be very transparent. Like as a viewer, you have the ability to tell if somebody view bots. You can deadass just go to like Sully-Gnome, find a streamer, and then look at their viewership line over the course of a stream. I probably shouldn't do someone in the middle of a marathon stream, but like you can just pull up, I don't know, I'm picking random ass streamers. You can just pull up, you can click on one stream, and then you can just look at the curve of that stream. And it's like, okay, when they first start, is it a slow progressive climb? Does it fluctuate throughout? Then it's like, okay, maybe it's good. If it's a flat fucking line and they reach their max viewership at the start of stream, they might be botting, okay? You know, they might be botting. It's hard to tell. Pull up Kai Sinat. I don't think Kai's botting, but I also think it'd be very hard to tell during a marathon stream because the graph is not ending. It never ends. You know what I'm saying? There's no start to a graph on a subathon. Now, honest to God, I am not the view botter, obviously. Obviously, mine is very legit. We all know this. Surely not a view botter here. Now, I've seen graphs of people who do view bot, and obviously it changes because Twitch removes, you know, botting services, and so it's not like every stream, but I'm not here to play fucking investigator and just pull up random streams and tell you who's botting, who's not. However, they do tell you where they're most common. On these categories, okay, not too much of a surprise, the most popular category where botting occurs is the virtual casino, where 13% of all traffic
That's still on
is
Twitch.
bot. Just chatting, 10% of all traffic.
That's not entirely surprising, just because just chatting is by far the most popular category. You know, just chatting is by far the most popular category on the platform. It's not even close. You know, like if you go to Twitch and you go to games, just chatting, look at this. Just chatting has triple. Oh, baby, a triple of what the second platform or second category does. So, like, it's not surprising. Edmos, thank you for the 4-month resubscription. Much appreciated. Used to play games, bro. Who's we? I still play games, by the way. Just not on stream. Is Lee so popular? I don't know, actually. Wait.
Project A is our character-based tactical shooter. It's competitive, it has precise gunplay, It's set on a beautiful near-future Earth, and it has a lethal cast of characters, each with their own unique abilities. This is our take on a competitive shooter.
When is this again coming out, chat?
We promise that just like League, we're in this for years and years to come. With Project A, we're staying true to the high-consequence gameplay of TAC shooters. But we want to evolve the space.
It's Valorant?
We want
No,
a
it's
TAC
Project A, chat. She just said it.
shooter with more creativity, more expression, and a lot more style. In Project A, your abilities create amazing tactical opportunities for your gunplay to shine.
Interesting. What's Keijo doing? Yeah, Keijo has freaking 60,000 people watching League right now. For 10 hours. Jesus freaking Louise. So that was Valorant? No, it's Project A. It's different. How? People love League. People are like, League, more of that nom 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 nom. Maybe I should go gaming. I need a gaming audience to watch me game.
Is bots. Counter-Strike, 9%. Smaller, but still somewhat high number, GTA. So it's like, it exists, you know, it exists in a lot of different categories. Now, ultimately, the real issue with viewbotting is if sponsors think that people are viewbotting, they'll not spend as much money, right? Because they don't want to get fucked up.
Joke's on you. I don't even really do sponsors like that. But maybe I will. You might see a sponsor coming from me tomorrow, chat. Maybe not. If you see me do a sponsor, just smile and nod. That's all I have to say.
Right? It's basically fraud. It's basically fraud if you are saying, hey, I have 15,000 viewers instead of 7,000 viewers, and the amount that you get paid is like gonna double, even though the value that they get is actually half because the viewers are fake. So it doesn't affect me or my partners. I think part of that too is because I'm on YouTube, where I think it's a bit harder to bot, but it could affect like the platform as a whole. Are clips getting botted? I think on TikTok, 100%. I think clips get botted, honest to God, by the clippers. I think there are people who want to make a full-time life by just fucking clipping content with AI clips, and to get like an edge early, they just bought their shit so that it's like...
He's not entirely wrong, right? The problem is that it's less about like the clippers and more like there's a clip ecosystem. There are literally apps that streamers can go on and basically pay, right? And basically pay like clippers to go out and clip their, like Hustlers University style. So instead of actually hiring a clipper, you literally sign up for this app, and then the users would then come to your content, clip your content, post it online, and then we'll bot that, and you pay them, and then the app pays them, and then they double dip. Just heard about Assata's death. Rest in peace. Rest in power. Yeah, we'll get to it in a second. But it is sad. Also, leftists are very mad at liberals, which is always the case.
You know, more impactful in an algorithm. So why did they DM this to you? Okay, they didn't DM it to me being like, Ludwig, we're on to you. They DM'd it to me because I think they put a lot of work into it. I'm not botting.
That's bots.
He has an OF2? Does he?
Yeah. Trying to figure out, because I haven't been live for like 2 days. I'm trying to figure out what I missed. You missed so much. I feel like I did. Oh wait, we're gonna get to this. Ethan Klein.
Apologize for things that I genuinely got wrong. For example,
I'm planning to go to Israel in June with my parents, and I'm actually really excited to go there. I want to show you guys how beautiful, how multicultural, how like free it feels for people, or just, it's a beautiful place. It is. It's one of the most diverse places I've ever been.
Looking back, I definitely feel ashamed for the
The
way
camera
I
told him
spoke
to
about
do?
Israel.
No, this was a TikTok video that he posted himself.
I'm over this shit. Are
Same.
y'all not over this? Like, everybody needs to be over this. There are so many things wrong with
True. Even Klein. Wait, Ethan responded to Chris Kunzler? What did he say?
The H3
What did he came out yesterday? Ooh, I'm so here. I'm so here. Okay, let's start with, you know what? We're gonna go live on TikTok for this. That's right. We're going live on TikTok for this. Running someone who actually reads? Indubitably. Hold on, I need to log in. Hold, I need to log in. Oh. Where the doggos with my mom? Show a hand who really getting money. Now raise the other one. TikTok. To the live chat is crazy. Fail to obtain key. Oh. Well, okay, hold on. Hold. Let's just like put the hat on you. I can't do that unless I use my phone, and I don't really use my phone. Show of hands, who really getting money? Log in. TikTok. Oh. Sign out. Log in. TikTok.
I was about to go get that penny.
Yo! Yo!
I was about to go get that penny.
Oh, but that worked. Open present, thank you for the, how much was that? 25 gifted and only 5 from Valorant. That's great, Valorant. I appreciate that. That means I have to get 5 on top of that. All right, 5 coming from me. Thank you, Open presents, for the 25 gifted.
I was about to go get that penny.
And it's confirmed. They patched it. They patched it. Val doesn't gift subs, so I gift myself. Boo. Boo. But thank you, Open present, for the 5 gifted. Mice Bird, thank you for the gifted sub as well.
Nice Bass gifted a tier 1 sub to
hello_web.
Okay, hold on. Show of hands, who really getting money? All right. Now we need a title for the stream. Ethan Klein on TikTok. Save. Go live. Copy. Show of hands, who really getting money? Copy. Start. All right, I should be live on TikTok. Dean Withers v. Shonda Black debate day. Get in now. That would be crazy. Honestly, I'd probably do it for the content. I am live. Oh, hold on. I can't hear myself. Like my stream, chat. I'm spamming likes real quick. Hold on. I'm spamming likes. I'm spamming likes real hard. I'm in the league D4 top 99%. Okay. I'm still going. I have 4 fingers to spam. All right, let's continue. Let's see what Ethan has to say.
I agree with you. I came back to TikTok to defend myself against wild accusations, but I
love starting my apology video by saying, I'm here to defend myself against wild accusations.
came back because I want to apologize for things that I genuinely got wrong. For example,
We're planning to go to Israel in June with my parents, and I'm actually really excited to go there. I want to show you guys how beautiful, how multicultural, how like free it feels for people, or just it's a beautiful place. It is. And
I don't know. I've seen better apologies with ukuleles. Stop.
Diverse places I've ever been.
looking back, I definitely feel ashamed for the way I spoke about Israel with such levity at the time that a genocide was happening. I completely understand why people could watch this clip and judge me harshly for it. I want to apologize to anyone in the Palestinian diaspora or anybody that's been affected by this war that felt that I was trivializing.
Still called it a war, but you know, sure.
The suffering, the horror that you've gone
topic?
through.
I know.
And for that, I deeply am sorry, and I'm ashamed of this clip. I came back to TikTok to defend myself.
That's all he said? He's not going to apologize for anything else? That's it? I also love the comments, bro. People are not taking it seriously. You have much more to apologize for. Kind of seems like Hasan was right. Think your pockets are hurting, boy. Please accept my ChatGPT apology and watch my podcast again so I can keep making millions of dollars off of you. Not enough hate under this post. Hold on, let me add to it. Boo. Post. Okay. So yeah, let's go back to what Hasan was saying.
Israel with such levity at the time that a genocide was happening.
That's cool. That's good first step, I think. If only that was the only reason why people were like, hey, man, I think you might be defending Israel a little too hard, you know? Calling its prominent critics of Muslim background terrorists.
Some fresh criticism for Hasan, who is an outright supporter of terrorism. Quite literally. He is a champion for terrorism and a supporter of terrorism.
And its prominent critics of Jewish background, token Jews.
Jews have are allowed to have different perspectives and stuff, but this man is like the embodiment of a Jewish token. Like, holy.
But Hamas supporters all the same.
I don't think this Ethan Klein guy was a nice guy. I think he's kind of bad. You know? I think he's a bad boy.
You know, because remember, it's not just people like myself that he just like actively went after. He went after anti-Zionist Jews as well, with a similar level of intensity, demanding that Matt Lieb get fired from Good Mythical Morning.
So yeah, Matt Lieb, and I still think he should get fired. And I think that every day that Rhett and Lieb keep this guy on the payroll is a disgrace to them.
Consistently calling him a token Jew, defending the Gaza Holocaust Fund, the GHF, also known as the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, to try to get a own on his opposition to try to get an own on me, having a Atlantic Council Palestinian who is a firm and committed defender of Israel with a Palestinian association to go on the broadcast to talk about how all of the prominent critics of Israel are actually also dangerous Hamas supporters who don't simply understand the situation at all.
We went on 2 dates, dude. 2 days.
Sorry. Jeez Louise, that was freaking loud. And what's so like upsetting about this is the fact that, you know, he's going to be forgiven essentially. Honestly, if he just waited like a few more months, right? He could have just came back and been like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. And it would have been like, oh, we knew you'd come around. Honestly, if he wasn't so staunch in his like pro-Israel advocacy, he probably would have gotten away with it earlier. You know what I mean? Like he probably would have gotten away with all the crazy stuff he was saying earlier, but he was so vindictive in trying to get myself or Frogan or Denims or Mike or Hasan like taken off the air and deplatformed, that his vindictiveness kind of superseded his own self-preservation. You know, if he was just like legitimately less vindictive, he could have came back already and had a return in viewership and people would have applauded him for it. You know what I mean?
Critical race theory in Palestine. We have now critical Palestine theory, and that is the Palestinians have no agency. There's no accountability. What they did on October 7th was an inevitability, and that's why I call that the inevitability fraud. The October 7th was an inevitability when it wasn't. And so that's where I was really surprised that on day 2 or 3, there were these mass protests.
Right.
Effectively celebrating it, and at the same time calling it a genocide.
Even fundraising for the Atlantic Council.
It's always hard to decide, like, what's the best way to help these people. And for an advocate here who knows people in Gaza, has lived in Gaza, to be like, this is the best place.
Absolutely.
And someone who's critical of Hamas, too. So, like, I feel like this is coming from only
It's so funny that Ethan found literally, like, one Palestinian who was, like, directly and outspokenly critical of Hamas, more critical of Hamas than they were Israel. It was like, that's my guy, you know? That's the guy, right? This is indicative of how all Palestinians think, right? They all hate Hamas and all are like, Israel's actually doing great to defeat Hamas. But like, he doesn't listen to any of the Palestinian voices who are saying Israel is chiefly responsible. Some of who could actually be saying that Hamas is not good, right? There are Palestinians who live in Gaza who are like, hey, I'm not the biggest fans of Hamas or whatever, right? But like, that pales in comparison to their criticism and their hatred of like the Israeli state that is expressly killed like pretty much all of their family. But like, Ethan doesn't care about actually hearing what Palestinians have to say, right? By and large, he wants to find people who agree with his worldview, right? And if they can serve that purpose, it doesn't matter what their background is. But if they're Palestinian, then extra, kudos for him. He's like, oh, you're a Palestinian and you agree with my worldview? Well, I'm going to promote you, actually. We're going to send our audience to give money to you, right? But even if you're not Palestinian, if you agree with Ethan, he's like, oh yeah, you're my guy. You're my guy. We respect you, and we're gonna listen to you specifically and exclusively, and not listen to anything that anybody else says that has a differing opinion, even if like the opinion that I hold as Ethan is vastly unpopular with the entirety of the world, essentially, right? And only now is Ethan turning around and changing his mind, because even he, right, even somebody who is so staunchly pro-Israel, who spent the last 20 months defending genocide, right? We are at a point where even he has to turn around and be like, hey, maybe I'm in the wrong, right? Maybe I need to, not saying maybe he's in the wrong, but maybe he needs to walk back his rhetoric because it makes him look bad. But yeah, he can see the tide shifting.
the best place possible to help the people there. And so I was quick to support and recommend other people support it as well.
Which is a right-wing American think tank. America is once again a belligerent in this genocide that Israel is conducting against the Palestinians. There's so much more that Ethan Klein has done, but I'll take it. I'll take this first apology. I think it's good. It more so just represents the tide shift that is finally even hitting him in the face. You know what I mean? For the longest time, he just refused to recognize what was going on, and the walls kept closing in. Yes, as Omer El-Akkad said, one day we will all have been against this. One day. And it's getting...
It's not suit your as always. I actually don't think this is a position of Hasan being charitable.
Movement just subscribed.
Like, I just think that, like, I think that he is demanding more, as he should be. But he wants to, like, let people know that, like, they could still change their mind, which I don't even necessarily disagree with. But just so long as he's not like, okay, Ethan is on the right side of this, I think that that's, you know, that's fine. I think Hasan just wants Ethan to drop the lawsuits as well. Yeah, I don't think Hasan was like, is going to look at this and be like, you apologize, but like, you know, doesn't matter. You should never apologize. Stand for what you believe in or whatever. He's always going to be like, okay, you're changing your mind. That's good. You need to do more. But like, he's never going to say like, it's bad if somebody apologizes, you know? To which I understand that perspective. I don't know how best else to describe it, but I get where he's coming from.
Getting there right now. This is bullshit.
Movement, thank you for the prime. Much appreciated. And we know what prompted this because that footage is a few months old. Like what prompted Ethan to apologize? Probably his diminishing viewership numbers. The crew, crew members leaving the podcast. Him not getting any sponsors. Him realizing or being told by his accountant that like, hey, this is unsustainable for you to continue down this path. You have to change something. Teddy Fresh imploding, like there's a number of different things that could have spurred on him actually walking back his rhetoric. Or crew members are leaving. Just Olivia. Olivia left. Right? And so that's why he's trial running the response on TikTok. Right? He's trial running the response on a platform that is completely separate from like a platform that he sees that Hasan is like not like controlling, right? He can't apologize on his podcast because then he would lose the audience that is pro-Israel that he's crafted already. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to go somewhere completely separate to be like, hey, let me just means test this apology to see how it works over here. And if it's good, then I'll like, you know, keep slowly walking back my positions until like you're allowing me to be pro-Israel, but like not as pro-Israel. Joseph Hasan controls all media. Because these people just forgot about the doxing and harassing dude his community did. People haven't though. He's hoping people did. And honestly, give it a year or two, they will. People love a white man rehabilitation story. They do. They love a white man rehabilitation story. They like rehabilitating somebody who they feel is like bad. It's like changing a man. You know? And so I think that there will be people who do let him get away with what he's done. You know? What there was already was Ethan's rehab story. Yeah, he'll have round two, you know? He'll have round two. What's up, Silent Side? Thank you for the hearts on TikTok, whatever that means. I know exactly what that means. Actually, I'm a TikToker, right? But I don't think he'll be relevant as at all in 2 to 3 years, and less relevant than he is now. Maybe, genuinely, only time will tell. Like, actually, only time will tell. That's why he addressed the pedal troll mostly on Instagram stories and praying that the big block of his audience would never see all the posts on that account. Yeah.
Token Palestine Israel used the other day saying you were responsible for attacks against them. Dude, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. Whether it be the relentless defending of Gaza Humanitarian Fund Foundation's talking points over and over again, even at the time when the international advocacy organizations and human rights organizations were saying this is an aid trap, this is perfidy, this is a war crime. It is literally directly mentioned in the UN report that the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation unironically played a role in the famine that was taking place as a part of Israel's genocidal project, as a part of Israel's genocidal ambition. He kept posting their talking points over and over again. He kept posting their press releases over and over again. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. He kept posting Hen Mazik from the Tel Aviv Institute. Hen Mazik, you might recall, wrote that article for the Hollywood Reporter against Hannah Einbinder after she came out and said Free Palestine, Israel on her Emmy Awards recognition. All of that is out there for people to watch. Part of the reason why I didn't take too much offense over the context nuke that Ethan Klein put together at the time.
Did Hasan ever even finish it? Did Hasan ever even finish the content nuke? No? That's so funny. That's so funny. And people, okay, this is actually maybe a hot take for like my audience. People keep saying that it was always Ethan's plan to like get like a bunch of like leftist content creators to watch the nuke just so he can copyright strike them, including Hasan. I don't think so. Genuinely, still to this point, I don't believe that was actually his plan. You feel me? Are you a communist? Am I a communist? Communism's cool. I like it. I don't have beef with the term communist. I usually call myself a socialist because like I'm just more well read on like socialism. But no, I like communism. Communism is cool. I don't have any beef with communism or like Marxist Leninism in general. I think I'd hear more of Marxist Leninism than I do to like the anarchist framework. So I'm calling you comrade. Yeah, W. I'm there. Are you now ever been affiliated with the Communist Party? Never in my life have I ever been affiliated with the Communist Party. Never even heard of it. What are your thoughts on Trotsky? Literally the only thoughts that I think necessarily matter is that I think some Trotskyists are slightly annoying, but that's really it. I don't have any strong feelings on Trotsky. Socialism in one state versus global. I think any socialist like revolution would come from the global south regardless. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen like in freaking America. Your thoughts on Stalin? My thoughts on USSR is just nuance as a whole. I think they did good things, and I think they did things that were not so good. But I limit my critique of any socialist project, even the ones that I think did not succeed, just because, further than we've gotten. So I think that there's a space to criticize like Stalin and the failures of the USSR, but not in mixed company, Not in mixed company. Because if I'm sitting here criticizing Stalin and a capitalist joins in and be like, yeah, Stalin killed 100 bajillion people, I'm just like, dog, we're not on the same side here. we're not on the same side here. So yeah. Also, same thing about Trotskyists. Some Stalinists are annoying. I'm sorry, they're just annoying. But to be fair, so are some Marxist Leninists, and so are some anarchists. That's just how it is. I call myself a Marxist, Leninist, but I'm not a Stalinist. They call me Trotskyist. Yeah. I don't necessarily adhere to labels. I'm like an anti-labelist. But I don't have any beef with people who do. It's not necessarily the frat boys of communists. I think Stalinists oftentimes can be dogmatic. You know, that's just how it is. The most loud people are always annoying. That's true. Whereas a notepad suspect says he's okay with the slaughter of a bajillion people. I think the thing about communists is they rely heavily on Euro theory and it's become dogma for a vocal group of them. I don't think that that's inherently incorrect by like specifically Western communists, but I do think that that does slightly leave out like African communists or African revolutionary who based their ideology on like communist theory, right? They do exist. And I think oftentimes we kind of associate the white Western communists with like the term communist because they've kind of like just kind of taken that term and applied it to themselves. But it is definitely, or could be more diverse in its usage and verbiage. I've had to really use it for clarity, really. Yeah, it's fair. Right? But that's why I think a lot of like even like leftist like black people are wary of the term communist, right? Assata Shakur like talked about that specifically. Any good book recommendations on this topic on communism and socialism? Starting book, Stating Revolution. Right, I think that's a very good starting point for theory. Because I would never recommend somebody start with Marx because it's just I couldn't do it as my first book, right? Any Marx reading, I couldn't do the Communist Manifesto. I couldn't do Das Kapital. Couldn't do it. Do you usually stream on Saturdays? I stream pretty much every day, unless I don't want to, on Twitch. Climate theory didn't stop developing with the fall of the USSR. It lives on in development of far faster in the global South. Yes. I think one of my favorite books to always go back to is actually like Capitalist Realism. I like that book about the way that the system of capitalism is so pervasive and why it's so hard to unlearn that propaganda inside of like the West, you know. Like I think that's one of the only books that I've read twice. Western chauvinism indoctrinated the American black diaspora to attempt to assimilate into white supremacist capitalist system that has never made for them. We will never have white Western communism. We will you have to think differently. Yeah. What anime do you recommend to learn about communism? One Piece. I read it for your recommendation. Oh. Used to stream when I retired. I wanted to switch more political talks. And they wanted funny gamer. You just got to find the right audience, you know. My audience never gets games, so like they can't even want funny gamer because I don't game. Sorry, L chat. You just start a book club in a Discord. I mean, I could, theoretically. What is this book? I just have books everywhere. Oh, I never even finished this book. It's called What Capitalism Needs. Oh, I know why. I got this book from a library. Or not, yeah, library. Or like a bookstore. I don't remember. It was like a thrift store or something like that. It's called What Capitalism Needs, The Forgotten Lessons of the Great Economists. And I was like, oh, this is a critique on capitalism. It's freaking not, okay? This is literally not a critique on capitalism. This is a pro-capitalist book saying, hey, capitalism needs to work. This is how you make that work. Why would you think that? It's called What Capitalism Needs. I thought like it was be like from a critique, you know, from a critical standpoint. It's not. It's literally not. It's just saying, hey, we need to fix capitalism. I thought it was like capitalism needs exploitation, and it would go into like the throes of why capitalism is exploitative. But it's not. It's literally not. And it pissed me off. I was so mad. I was like, why did I even pick this book up? Why would I be mad? If you ever come to you can see use that book and say you're not a communist? Yeah. Ah, jeez Louise. Did you not read the back? Well, the back was just like quotes from like... Okay, I should have read the back. One of the quotes on the back literally starts with, a capitalist economy is never pure capitalism. It operates, its operation is, as John Campbell and John Hall shows us, so clearly and effectively both supported and impeded by an array of institutions and government policies. And it produces consequences that themselves affect the economic function, the economy's functioning. It literally is saying that this is a book about like government bureaucracy, like interceding in the way that true capitalism is supposed to function. And you need like deregulation and the removal of government entity so that capitalism can actually thrive. I didn't read the back. Okay, I'll say it. I didn't read the back. I saw the front page and I just assumed. Okay, my bad. Okay, my bad. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. You don't agree with that? No, I don't agree that like real capitalism needs the lack of government regulation to really thrive. And right now we have fake capitalism that's bad. You know what I mean? I think all capitalism is bad because all capitalism is inherently exploitative. Wasted money? Yeah. I was at a CG reading that. Listen, no coming from my reading skills. Hey, let's continue with Ethan.
Thought was going to be the end of my career. How foolish, how stupid. It was because he's not a believer in anything, really. Well, I guess maybe the state of Israel and the Zionist project. But outside of that, he's not a believer in anything beyond, I guess, whatever suits his fancy, whatever hurts his narcissistic feelings.
Libertarian anarcho-capitalism, mass civil unrest, thousands dead. But they have Bitcoin as their national currency.
So narcissistic that he could make an ongoing genocide all about himself and his own personal feelings. Having said that, the reason why I didn't give a too much is because time will pass. And I knew that eventually people would recognize right from wrong. More and more people would start recognizing exactly what was taking place. And when they did, I fear that they would look back at that compilation perhaps with very different eyes. Very, very different eyes. The context nuke that he shamefully copyrighted with the intent to sue every single one of his detractors.
Oh, wait, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I don't think this was his original plan. Hot take. Maybe I'm crazy. I do not think this was Ethan Klein's original plan. I don't. I think his goal was to put the content nuke out and it just end Hasan's career. Right? It wasn't to goad Hasan into watching it so Hasan could be copy struck, right? No, was he registered copyright for this video? I disagree. I don't think it was the original plan. Maybe it was like a plan number C, backup plan M or something, right? But his original goal was to release the content nuke and Hasan gets banned. That's what his plan was. He releases the content nuke, Hasan gets banned, right? Off of Twitch, banned off of YouTube. Nobody wants to collaborate with Hasan anymore. And Hasan is like run off the internet for being like an anti-Semitic terrorist or something. Right? And everybody clapped. I genuinely think that's what his plan was. Because if you watch the content nuke, and you remember, we did, right? If you watch the content nuke, that was like his entire thing. The way that the video is structured is like, it's a nuke. It's going to end Hasan's career. He even did like a silly little intro. You know, it's giving Drake releasing Family Matters, thinking it would end the beef. It is exactly like that, actually. Yes.
He would have sued you too had you not reacted to just a part for it for over 10 hours. Yeah. To this day.
Yes.
So
I think maybe it was
much.
plan B or plan C, right? That he copyrighted it so that he could sue like Frogan, right? Or Denims or whatever. But like, I don't think his plan was ever to sue Hasan on copyright, right? I think his plan was to release the content on Hasan so that Hasan gets banned. Right? And maybe plan B, that if Hasan didn't get banned, then he can sue him on copyright. But I don't think that was his main plan. You know? But maybe I'm wrong.
I made this video for 2 reasons.
Yeah, here. This is him saying exactly that.
I made this video for 2 reasons. First, to stop Hasan infiltrating mainstream media.
Shut up, bitch!
Popular left-wing Twitch streamer and YouTuber Hasan Piker.
This is Hasan Piker.
Mr. Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker, one of the top streamers on Twitch.
Hasan Piker, what's up?
Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker.
Hasan.
Hasan.
She lie to your face, I really don't get it. She say what you want her to say. At the end of the day, I'm still getting money regardless, I'm still getting paid. She want Gucci, Louis, and the Fendi. Fuck around and leave your pockets empty. Swear I ain't a killer, but don't tempt me. Missy, do you really miss me?
My lawyer can't do fucking shit.
Oh, wow.
I made this video.
Honestly, I'm happy for Hasan. Maybe that's parasocial for me to say. I'm happy for him. I am. Right now, he's like, you know, it's not great after the Charlie Kirk thing or whatever. But he's still relatively successful, right? And it's still in mainstream Sean Malding. I am slightly Malding, just a little bit. It should have been me, not him. It's not fair, as Yugi once said. But no, I think it's honestly better Hasan than Ethan. It's the way I come about it, right? It's the way that I view it. I think you're right, Sean, because he didn't say that there was a didn't he say there was a Content 2 coming? He's aiming for a ban slash cancellation, yes. And it never came. He was gonna like take down Hasan through some other stuff, but it got leaked and he just never released it, I guess. I think he's too narcissistic to make the changes that would allow him to come back. He's too vindictive and he won't stop shooting himself in the foot. He also lost whatever juice he used to have. Yeah. But to be fair, Hasan did revive his career. We're being entirely real. And before Hasan, it was Trisha Paytas. If we're being entirely real, Trisha Paytas revived Ethan's career, and then Hasan kept it afloat. Ethan never had an opportunity to like have to stand on his own like merits. I think our lawsuits are catching up with Ethan in a bit. He bit way more than he could chew with Kavanaugh. Was there new about Ethan before Frenemies? I didn't know about Ethan before Frenemies. 1,000,000% Trisha knows that too. She's the one who introduced me to Ethan. Jeez, y'all are rough. He made fun of vapes and had a mid podcast. Instead of watching Ethan again when Gambling Arc with Hasan started. But yeah, one more time.
I made this video for 2 reasons. First, to stop Hasan infiltrating mainstream media.
Shut up, bitch!
Popular left-wing Twitch streamer and YouTuber Hasan Piker.
This is Hasan Piker.
Also, chat, I'm saying this now. This is going to be me in 2 years. Mark your calendars, your calendars. 2 years from now, 2027, this will be me. Yeah, I'm going to be Theo Vaughn. I will be Theo Vaughn. Sean on the Breakfast Club.
On top.
I knew it. Also, speaking of, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah, because you're dumb, chatter. I'm sorry. That was mean. And it's not being mean. And this clip will be used in a fan edit 2 years from now. True. Honestly, yeah. It's like Ryan Fire. Thank you for the 17 months. And just Greg, thank you for the 27 months. It's crazy.
Greg X just subscribed.
Much appreciated. John, what should I do with my hair? I'm thinking braids. I haven't done braids in like 2 years. 3 years, probably. Bald, mods ban these people. Ban them. Get banned. Mohawk, cornrows. I could do cornrows. Static Shock hairstyle. Doesn't Static Shock just have locks? Do you do them yourself? Probably. Prioritize getting a trim? No.
Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker, one of the top streamers on Twitch.
Hasan Piker, what's up?
Hasan Piker.
I don't trust anybody.
Hasan.
Put your hair like Sean C. Sean C didn't cut his hair. This is a trap. Trying to trap me.
At the end of the day, I'm still getting money regardless, I'm still getting paid. She want Gucci, Louis, and the Fendi. Fuck around and leave your pockets empty. Swear I ain't a killer, but don't tempt me. Missy, do you really miss me?
My lawyer can't do fucking
Say he's
shit.
going to?
I made this video.
Crazy.
Of the dumb nonsense that I see online
Yeah,
from people who think like, oh, I'm pro-Palestine too. I'm just pro-Palestine and not this direction, but some other unforeseeable direction. No matter where I go, when I see these comments like, Hasan, isn't that guy like, doesn't he glaze terrorists? From some of the dumbest right-wingers of all time, and even some dumb liberals who don't know any better. It all stems back to the same deplatforming initiatives that ultimately failed, conducted by Sex Pestany, who ruined his own career once again, and also his partner in crime, Ethan Klein, who not only was aligning himself and utilizing Sex Pestany's own clips out of context compilations, something that even Barry Weiss has done for the Free Press, by the way, and now she will be in charge of CBS. Shouts out to the Ellison family for that wonderful new voice, an underrepresented voice in mainstream news. Not only did he use those clips out of context to drive home an incredibly racist narrative that a critic of Israel was actually a terrorist, a Muslim critic of Israel was actually a terrorist, over and over again, really leaning into those Islamophobic sentiments, weaponizing it like it was nothing, on the wrong side of a goddamn genocide, but also even went as far as to directly materially align with Destiny's partner, his podcast co-host, Dan Saltman, a 60-year-old psychopath who also, just like Ethan Klein, tried to actively not only deplatform me and many other critics of Israel, but also went so far as to initiate adpocalypse, to try to initiate an adpocalypse against an entire platform.
I have congressional meetings set up, okay? That's like with more than one dude. Republicans, obviously, shifted.
What's a congressional meeting?
Well, I guess it's when there's with multiple congressmen, and it's like a fact-finding mission for them, where they go and they. Oh, stop the video. Sorry.
Rolling super hard right now.
Okay. All right. So a congressional video is where not a congressional video. A congressional meeting is where there's multiple of them, and they have their aides with them, their chiefs of staffs with them. And then they're trying to find out, like, okay, explain this to us, everything from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And they're taking notes, and then they're issuing subpoenas and shit like that after that, based on the information of what you get.
Of content creators on Twitch. How insane. They went so far as to work with Israel's own attack dog, Richie Torres. Dan Stalkman even went and talked to numerous Republicans in his advocacy to try to pull me in front of Congress. He celebrated it. And now those very same fascists that he aligned himself with in an effort to try and get me deplatformed are working to get his best friend and podcast co-host, Sex Pestany, also deplatformed. How do you deal with that? So yeah, it's a good start to apologize for saying that you were going to go to the multifaceted, multicultural Israel amidst the genocide and refuse to understand what my criticisms were on that front. I know for many out-of-touch fans of Ethan Klein, who don't care about anything but whatever Ethan Klein says and does, this hopefully will give them a little bit of comfort to be able to defend him in broad daylight. This will give them enough to say, look, see, he apologizes. He takes accountability for his actions. His opponents, on the other hand, they never do. Sometimes there's no reason to apologize if you've done nothing wrong. But I welcome them to the pro-Palestinian cause after spending all of the past 2 years working to deplatform critics of Israel. Fantastic.
People could watch this clip and judge me harshly for it. I want to apologize to anyone in the Palestinian diaspora or anybody that's been affected by this war that felt that I was trivial.
Watch you for the news for so long, you successfully gaslit me into thinking this guy even matters at all. I mean, he's utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but the harm that he committed to critics of Israel is serious. I mean, he got numerous people deplatformed, numerous people banned for 30 days over a Sabra hummus joke, dude. Also, he shouldn't be just apologizing. I don't know who the he's apologizing to, the Palestinian diaspora. He should be apologizing, but you can't, to the Palestinians as a whole.
Realizing the suffering, the horror that you've gone through. And for that, I deeply am sorry, and I'm ashamed of this clip.
Wild accusations, except admitting that at least like one component of it was not so wild, I guess. I like how he's only doing this because the UN said it's a genocide. I don't think so. I think a lot of people are recognizing that there's just no defense of Israel. There's just no defense of Israel whatsoever. But that won't stop them from attacking Israel's critics. I'm a firm believer that no matter how much you try to manipulate the public by purchasing CBS and ultimately, people are still going to be looking for the truth. Cat's out of the bag, toothpaste out of the tube, as I like to say. So all you'll be doing is cooking these media properties further when they just remove the last shred of credibility that they may have had. It's so crazy for me that it's just like all of this could have been avoided if you just listened.
I've returned. What'd I miss?
Damn genocide, but also even went as far as to directly.
Oh, wait. Here.
And also his partner in crime, Ethan Klein, who not only was aligning himself and utilizing Sex Pestini's own clips out of context.
Hasan's gonna copy strike you for this video and sue you. I wish he would. I wish he would.
Compilations, something that even Barry Weiss has done.
I'll pull the Hasan's racist allegations back up. I'll get the bars back on him.
For the Free Press, by the way, and now she will be in charge of CBS. Shouts out to the Ellison family for that wonderful new voice, an underrepresented voice in mainstream news. Not only did he use those clips out of context to drive home an incredibly racist narrative that a critic of Israel was actually a terrorist, a Muslim critic of Israel was actually a terrorist, over and over again, really leaning into those Islamophobic sentiments, weaponizing it like it was nothing, on the wrong side of a goddamn genocide. But also even went as far as to directly materially align with Destiny's partner, his podcast co-host, Dan Saltman, a 60-year-old psychopath who also, just like Ethan Klein, tried to actively not only deplatform me and many other critics of Israel, but also went so far as to initiate adpocalypse, to try to initiate an adpocalypse against an entire platform.
I have congressional meetings set up. Okay? That's like with more than one.
Ooh, okay. What was that video that Hasan showed yesterday that had like Destiny in it? Talking about Charlie Kirk being like, Destiny, are you scared after what happened to Charlie Kirk? Did you see that video? You do leftovers with you and Den? Who's Den? Piers Morgan? Was it a Piers Morgan? I don't think it was Piers Morgan. Din? Who's Din? Also, yes, you were correct. My cup did say Charlie Kirk on it. I went and I got it, and I said my name was Charlie Kirk. You see? And they didn't even read it out. Right? They said it was too political. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? I said you said the name of all the people before me, and you didn't say my name on my cup. You just brought it to me. Isn't that insane? It is because they hate America. That's exactly what it is. Because they hate America. Isn't that insane?
Republicans, obviously, shifted.
What's a congressional meeting?
Thank you, Chatter. Your first message and it was actually exactly what I was looking for. Shout out to Transport Asian for that for the link to the video. Actually, exactly what I was talking about.
There's been a shooting. We heard shots.
Charlie Kirk's assassination stopped America.
We get to that next.
Well, I guess it's when there's with multiple congressmen, and it's like a fact-finding mission for them.
Oh, it is
where
a
they
teleport?
go and they.
I'm sorry, I can't read with these glasses on. Well, I can't read normally. These glasses don't help. Everything looks so dark. No offense. It's okay, readings for nerds anyway. I agree.
Oh, stop the video. Sorry.
Rolling super hard right now.
Okay. All right. So a congressional video is where, not a congressional video, a congressional meeting is where there's multiple of them, and they have their aides with them, their chiefs of staffs with them, and then they're trying to find out, like, okay, explain this to us.
Joe, she's talking, watching a song, watching Alex Jones, watching a song, watching Dan Crenshaw, watching a song. Yep. You know it. Infinite stream. Langium, thank you for the 10-month resubscription. 8-month streak. Much appreciated.
Thing from start to finish, and they're taking notes, and then they're issuing subpoenas and shit like that after that based on the information of what you give.
Of content creators on Twitch. How insane. They went so far as to work with Israel's own attack dog Richie Torres. Dan Stalkman even went and talked to numerous Republicans in his advocacy to try to pull me in front of Congress. He celebrated it. And now those very same fascists that he aligned himself with in an effort to try and get me deplatformed are working to get his best friend and podcast co-host, Sex Pestiny, also deplatformed. How do you deal with that? So yeah.
Chad, do you know if the congressional meeting or the congressional hearing for the social media executives it's going to be live streamed? Will it be televised or broadcast? It's on the 8th, isn't it? October 8th. It's just stream it on Twitch. I'll be streaming it if it's live while I'm on it. When I'm streaming. Weird Elon wasn't invited to that? Oh, well, I mean, weird. If by weird you mean totally predictable, then yes, it is quite weird. Did Trump defund C-SPAN yet? Wasn't he talking about it? Sometimes it's live on YouTube.
Start to apologize for saying that you were going to go to the multifaceted, multicultural Israel amidst the genocide and refuse to understand what my criticisms were on that front. I know for many out-of-touch fans of Ethan Klein who don't care about anything but whatever Ethan Klein says and does, this hopefully will give them a little bit of comfort to be able to defend him.
Hey, same. I'm also about to hit 1K.
In broad daylight. This will give them enough to say, look, see, he apologizes. He takes accountability for his actions. His opponents, on the other hand, they never do. Sometimes there's no reason to apologize if you've done nothing wrong. But I welcome them to the pro-Palestinian cause after spending all of the past 2 years working to deplatform critics.
But
of
he's a
Israel.
stalwart ally. He said he was a stalwart ally of the Palestinian people. He was very stalwart. He made one tweet or Instagram post in 2021, which shows that he's an ally, a stalwart ally. I say check C-SPAN on that day, but I don't see a specific block for it on the C-SPAN schedule. Sad face.
Real. Fantastic.
People could watch this clip and judge me harshly for it. I want to apologize to anyone in the Palestinian diaspora or anybody that's been affected by this war that felt that I was trivial.
Watch you for the news for so long, you successfully gaslit me into thinking this guy either matters at all. I mean, he's utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but the harm that he committed to critics of Israel is serious. I mean, he got numerous people deplatformed, numerous people banned for 30 days over a Sabra hummus joke, dude. Also, we shouldn't be just apologizing. I don't know who the he's apologizing to, the Palestinian diaspora. He should be apologizing, but you can't, to the Palestinians as a whole.
Realizing the suffering, the horror that you've
He
gone
should also
through.
apologize to Frogan. He should apologize to Frogan, to Capri, to Raph, to Vio, to Denims, to Casey Tron, to myself, to Hasan, to Mike, to Anthony, to Chris Kunzler, to Noah Sampson, to Bada Banada. Like, here's a list of people you should be apologizing to. To Ian, to Matt Lieb, to Rashid, Taylor, Anissa, to Andy J, to Kingo Guns, did I say Taylor? To Taylor, Cat 10 Barge, Sam Cedar, freaking Vanilla Mace, the random dude he and his crew doxed, to Kendrick Lamar for his awful rapping. At this point, who should he apologize to? H3 Snark Mods, to Xander, to the one lady on the one girl on TikTok who criticized him, who he yelled at recently. I don't even know who Patrice Wilson is, but that person, to Ludwig, to Cutie, right? Like, the list keeps going. To Mika, to CPS, to Caroline, to Will. Like, the FBI, his psychiatrist. The guy that Ian, the psychologist in Seattle, that guy, the Dr. Honda, the Skeleton Museum, to you, I already said me, don't worry. I'll say we'll get to the Netanyahu thing in a second. That's the next story on the list. Hasan's mom, to Joji, I guess. Like his housekeeper. To Sklu's mom, I guess. Ryan Kavanaugh a second time. To Kaya, we said Mika's. Who else? Where else? All the majority. Emma, Adam McIntyre. We said Vanilla Mace. The Reddit CEO, Dan Clancy. Like, we said Taylor Renz. Aiden's mom? Like Aiden Ross? Comrade Lamb, who we thought. It's Comrade Lamb, Froggy Tonic, North Star Radio, who are we listing? We're listing everybody. Markiplier. Philip DeFranco. We're listing everybody that Ethan Klein should apologize to for all of his wrongdoings. Noah Colwyn, the Felix Biederman. We said Matt Lieb, his kids. The one girl who's ex-fan who made a YouTube video. Which one? Moi, Adam Freeland. We said Kat Tenbarge. We said Noah Sampson. James Gunn, probably. Who's Gato Fumador? Oh, is that the Twitter person? Twitter poster? We said Anthony from Do Not Worry Podcast, but the entirety of Do Not Worry Podcast, indeed. Ethan's Basement. Who else? Also, that one guy, the biggest black leftist or something, I can't remember. Well, I'm the biggest black leftist, so like, you must be talking about me. FD? Did Ethan go after FD? Oh, he did. FD signifier. You said Mike from PA? Yes, you said Mike from PA already. He did? Yes. Yeah. Because like FD posted something about like Ethan's fans like brigading his video. I did say Xander. Dr. Mike from Israel. Valkyrie? What do you say about Valkyrie? Aaron Bushnell, that's another one. You said VO. LeBron. We said Cutie. We said Sam Cedar. Did he come after Pokimane? Or were they brigading FD? I don't remember, honestly. We said Ludwig. See, the list is crazy. Why is the list so long? We spent the last 5 minutes naming people that Ethan Klein should apologize to because he's a bad person. Ethan released the list. Trisha was like a freaking 5 years ago thing that he's still harping on. It wasn't even in this specific last 2 years. The Yemeni kid, we had the Yemeni kid. Did you say you? Yes. He said she lied about being infertile like a month ago. Then Trisha Paytas as well. Like, I don't know why he's still talking about Trisha Paytas in 2025, but you know. Casey's parents? What do you say about Casey's parents? The word multicultural. Oh, protesters of like Palestinian student protesters. The nation state of Yemen. Anyone he's called a token. We have Adam Friedland. JVP, that's a good one. JVP is a good one. Malcolm Coolio. The Flotilla, Greta Thunberg. Like, just pretty much anybody he considers just to be his enemy. Like, just basically the entire world. Anybody who's not Ethan Klein. He's apologized to the entirety of the trans community because I said so. W. The trans community. Matt Bernstein. That's a good one. We have Taylor Lorenz already. Jeez Louise. The one little person he doxed. What? I don't think I heard about that one. Oh yeah, Olivia as well. Aubrey Smalls. All journalists who talked about Hasan. Yeah. Jay Chinatown on Twitter, he threatened multiple times to docs. Cocaine. Just like the drug. He needs to apologize to the drug of cocaine. We have the random dude on Instagram already. Yeah.
And for that, I deeply am sorry.
He did
and I'm
abuse
ashamed of
cocaine. Why is he abusing cocaine? What did cocaine ever do to him?
this clip.
Wild accusations, except admitting that at least like one component of it was not so wild, I guess. I like how he's only doing this because the UN said it's a genocide. I don't think so. I think a lot of people are recognizing that there's just no defense of Israel. There's just no defense of Israel whatsoever. But that won't stop them from attacking Israel's critics. I'm a firm believer that no matter how much you try to manipulate the public by purchasing CBS and ultimately people are still going to be looking for...
They try to get me canceled. Remember he platformed Joey Salas? He needs to apologize for that. What do you mean he platformed Joey Salas? Didn't Joey Salas run for governor or something? Foreign sticks, they give her the 11 months.
The truth. Cat's out of the bag, toothpaste out of the tube, as I like to say. So all you'll be doing is cooking these media properties further when they just remove the last shred of credibility that they may have had. It's so crazy for me that it's just like all of this could have been avoided if he just listened to his friend at the time when his podcast co-host had his best interest in mind and was trying to be like, listen, dude, here's why you're coming across like you're defending Israel. You need to dial it back. People have no capacity to understand what's in your heart and in your...
Does anybody who remembers that conversation on Leftovers, did y'all think when that happened that we would get to this point here? Yes, I can see the future. Like, I knew it would be bad because I never thought Ethan Klein changed, but like I could not have imagined just the breadth of how bad Ethan got specifically and how far he went to just defend genocide and how much he just immediately just didn't ever do any self-reflection.
your mind. They only have a capacity to hear what you're saying, and what you're saying seems a whole lot like you're defending Israel. He said he laid off you because of the whole Charlie Kirk thing, so there's that at least. Great. Remember when he also said that I falsely claimed that I was issuing a death threat against his wife, and then got mad at Destiny because Destiny took that as an opportunity to literally issue an actual direct death threat against me, and then he openly stated, "Oh, you ruined it. We really had a win here, but you had to open your mouth and ruin it. Now he can play the victim." That's what he said. I think that shows.
Did he say that? Is that true? I literally have not been tuned in or tapped in to what Ethan was saying for the last like 3 months. I genuinely, I don't know if you remember, chat, but I said 3 months ago, I said, I'm pretty much done covering Ethan, right? Because he feeds off of the attention of the back and forth. And so I just haven't kept up with much of what he said. I know that Olivia left. But that's it. That's it, really. Yep, same, good. Is she gone? I guess nobody really knows but her. I thought your lead-in dropped out of the EBS. I've been telling y'all. You know what I mean? That we stop giving it attention, right? Especially after the lawsuits. The lawsuits were like the climax. But like outside of covering that and giving support to the lawsuit victims, right? To stop giving it the attention of like, did you see what Ethan said today? Did you see what Ethan said today? Did you see what Ethan said today? You know what I mean? Because Ethan needs that. He needs the back and forth, right? What content does he have but he's not crying about Hasan doing something, right? Or Denim's responding to him saying something about her. You know what I mean? He needs that back and forth. He needs the engagement. There's a reason why he's coming to apologize to TikTok now. You know what I mean? Is he still suing you? Nah, he dropped that immediately. And then he admitted that he doesn't have a case against me. He claimed that his TikTok responding to Chris was respectful last night, with TikTok basically calling him a cloud chaser, which that's the next step. We're going to get to that, and then we're going to move on to other stuff.
Shows you a lot about the calculations at play here.
It's not just as much as a drama fisher. That is very clearly and obviously not true. Like, I'm sorry. Hasan is not enough of a drama fisher for my liking. And I've stopped talking about Ethan at all. I think he is. I think you're incorrect, chatter. I think you're wrong. I think he should have actually engaged in like the drama of it before it got to as far as it did. Like, Hasan ignored it for a year and a half, 2 years, right? Because he doesn't engage in the drama slop of it. Check his logs? Why? Oh. Okay. I just solved that problem right here and there.
The lawsuits, Ethan. Drop the lawsuits. You know they're frivolous. You know it has nothing to do
China was
with...
just like, yeah, Israel's doing a genocide, but like, why should we care about Israel's genocide when people are dying around the world? And so I was just like, I'll just ban this person.
Copyright or anything like that. You'll win a lot more good favor if you were to do that. I know you think that the people that you're attacking are unfavorable by the new audience that you have cultivated, but it's a good gesture. Laid off you complaining about your op-ed and reposting the same out of context clip about Kamala versus Trump 10 times. I know that he did do that when I got the op-ed. I'm sure he's not actually going to lay off regardless. He just seems like a petty tyrant himself, just so thin-skinned, so narcissistic. He feels like when people have wronged him in his mind, he just never stops. It's clear to me. The reason why I say that is because he didn't stop even when his own fans were like, dude, just shut the up about this. Like, okay, we got it. We hate Hasan. He sucks, you know? And he was like, nope, not going to stop. He has to have enemies all the time. And I guess in the past, it seemed like he chose his enemies well.
Ethan's story response is literally insane. That's another reason why I don't think he'll come back. Wait, Ethan responded to this?
It's clear that he will align himself with anyone, like no matter how awful someone has been to him personally, no matter how anti-Semitic they've been throughout their entire career, he will welcome those people with open arms. No real moral consistency here whatsoever. So much harm has been caused in this process, but I only care about this as far as it is taking up space from much more important things that we could be talking about. Just add it onto the pile, you know? So frustrating.
Chris visibly sighing every time Hasan is mentioned. I don't know. I don't watch the podcast. But yeah, so Ethan apparently made another video. Here I am apologizing shortly after I made the comment.
I agree with you. I think that my characterization of it as a utopia, like in that moment, was distasteful, and I wish that I had said that differently. And I see that it came off bad. It came off bad, and I was wrong on that one. I totally agree. Watching that clip back, I'm regretful about how I spoke about it. So I agree with you.
He also at no point says I'm sorry. By the way, just want to point that out. Even if it's an apology, at no point did he says, I'm sorry. He said, man, what I said was really distasteful. A soundbite? No, this is during their debate, I think. Pretty sure. Hasan brought it up to them in their debate.
Okay, that's fair.
I agree with you.
Ethan, you should really post more clips from this debate. I'm sure it really helps your case because you were so professional and it didn't come across as insane at all. That's so funny. Snap Crackle, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. And Valorant with the 1. Much appreciated. Has Valorant only given ones since the first poll with the 5? No, it gave 5 with the open presents. It's the same debate where Ethan said Israel needs to the wall because Palestinians are inherently terrorists. Probably. And then this is
I think that
the hate
another video because Chris Kunzo made a video responding to Ethan coming back to TikTok. They got 50,000 likes, which is why Ethan responded. I only got 3,000. Ooh, that's a roughie, Ethan. That's a roughie, Ethan. You only could pull 2.9K? Only 2K likes is rough, buddy. Maybe the next one will get motion. Like, okay, let's get back to this. Wait, why is this?
Launder his reputation and claim that he is actually pro-Palestine. And I just want to make it clear now. Ethan Klein from the H3 podcast has decided to return to posting on TikTok to try and launder his reputation and claim that he is actually pro-Palestine. And I just want to make it clear now that this man is not at all pro-Palestine. He is not being targeted because he is Jewish. Over the last few months, he has posted and said nothing about Palestine. He just posts about his deranged obsession with Hasan Piker and his attempts to deplatform Hasan. He doesn't care about Palestine. He didn't post about Anas al-Sharif. He's not posting about the famine in Gaza. In fact, he tried to direct attention away from it by posting about Sudan, something that he has never spoken about otherwise. Just a few months ago, Ethan was saying that he was proud of his wife having served in the IOF, even though she herself admitted that she was bored and went on a raid of Ramallah just because she fancied it. She also said that it was a necessity to serve in the IOF and that those who don't are selfish, to which Ethan agreed. He said that he wanted to take his kids to Israel to show everyone that Israel was not actually like what the people on the internet were claiming. And he has also justified the bombing of hospitals just over the last few months. This kind of stuff is all documented on my YouTube channel and on other people's in long form videos that deal with what Ethan Klein is actually like. So don't let him fool you. This isn't a result of anti-Semitism. This is a result of the fact that this man is unwilling to disavow the Zionist project. Yes, he may be willing to say, oh, Israel's actions have gone too far. But fundamentally, when it comes down to it, he is still a defender of Israel. He still justifies what they are doing against Palestinians.
Yeah. And this may be a hot take, but I just saw this tweet that I kind of want to bring up. Because okay, well, you can't see it for some reason because the person who made it just went private. But this was the original tweet. Don't worry, I have a little screenshot. They literally just went private. I'm not even joking with you. just like in the last like 2 minutes while that TikTok was playing. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I can just do this. Here. This was in response to the Jennifer Lawrence tweet or statement, right? From Film Updates. Let me see if I can find it. Here. Jennifer Lawrence speaks up about Palestine. I'm terrified and it's mortifying. What's happening is no less than a genocide and it's unacceptable. Everyone needs to remember that when you ignore what's happening on one side of the world, it won't be lauded to it. It's on your side as well. Right? And this tweet was like, I may get criticized for this, but I think that we should let people change and grow. Right? I don't necessarily inherently disagree with this tweet. However, there is a problem with letting people launder their reputation by just monitoring how the tide shifts and then just, making sure that their boat is far enough away from shore that they're just allowed to drift, Like, I think people should be allowed to change, right? I think people should be allowed to come to the correct position. But you have to understand that accountability comes with some level of reconciliation, right? Accountability comes with some level of recognition that you held the wrong position before, and now you are holding a different position. And interrogating why you held that position, right? What made you believe that, like, Israel was just in its campaign when 30,000 Palestinian children were killed, as opposed to now when hundreds of thousands of Palestinian children were killed, right? Like, that needs to be, this doesn't even need to be consequence, right? But like, there has to be some interrogation of your beliefs, right? When you are changing. And all too often are people so readily able to extend this notion of like, oh, because you said the right combination of words, you are just different now, or you've changed now, right? And then all too often are they just burned by the same people in the future, right? Like, would this be extended to Ethan Klein? Ethan Klein is apologizing for saying that Israel is super multicultural and that he wants to show people the Israel that people don't see, right? Would this, I think we should let people change and grow, be extended to Ethan Klein? Because it very much could be. This could be in reference to Ethan Klein. It would be like no different. Which is why I think a blanket statement of like, oh, let people change, right, is not as like, I think it's lacking nuance. Even the way we're actively Zionists, it doesn't matter in my opinion, right? Because I do genuinely believe that, because if your take is that like, oh, if somebody is X amount Zionist, then they can't change, right? And I don't believe that's what your take is, right? You have to understand that no matter how you or bad your position was before, when you do change your position, there has to be some level of recognition about why you believe what you believed. Even, I don't care like what level of Zionist you were, right? I don't care if you were actively like a part of the IOF. I don't care if you defended your wife's terroristic actions. I don't care if you were just defending Amy Schumer and you were saying free the hostages and Israel has a right to defend itself, right? It doesn't matter what your position originally was, right? Accountability is understanding how you came to that position, why you believe that incorrect position, right? And holding yourself accountable for what you believed then, so that what you're saying now can have some level of validity to it. You can't just ignore your past and previous actions and just be like, oh, I believe this thing now, right? And I don't think people are invalid at expecting something more. You know what I mean? I think all too often is this utilized against people who are expecting something more. You know? Like, I'm sorry if I don't expect, like, Palestinians or college protesters who were brutalized by the police, or people who've been actively deplatformed and harassed and doxxed and had death threats, right, and get fired for their jobs for being pro-Palestinian, right, 3 decades ago, 2 decades ago, 2 years ago, right? I'm sorry if I don't have this expectation that they should just let people finally come around when it's like, you know, no longer, you know, scary to do so, for lack of a better term. I can't get the right term. I think that they're fair for wanting that those people who were a part of that system, who got them harassed, who got them fired from their jobs, who allowed for their family members to be killed. I think it's entirely fair for those people to expect some higher level of standard for, like, okay, you're saying all the right things. Let's see if you actually believe it. Right? But then, like, charitability is weaponized against those people, right? And that's when you get somebody like Ethan in the first place, right? People were saying this to me about Ethan in September of 2023. And people who were in here watching me knew that, right? People would be like, people should be allowed to change. We should let people change and grow. For Ethan Klein in September of 2023, when I said Ethan has not effectively showed that he's different. Yeah, hostile Ethan. And then when like October 7th happened and Ethan's Zionism kind of just jumped out, people were surprised by Ethan's like takes, because they thought Ethan was different, but he has never demonstrated that he was different. And so I don't even think Ethan right now can't grow, right? I don't think that Jennifer Lawrence doesn't believe something different, right? But I don't think you should weaponize, you feel me, this against marginalized people who are a little bit wary. As you know, what did you look out for? Accountability, right? Don't listen to the words that people say. Listen to what they believe, their actions, right? Ethan can say, I apologize for saying slurs in the past, but he has no apology on his page. You know? He said, I've apologized for doing blackface, but there's no apology for blackface, right? Every time he only referenced that he had apologized sometime in the past, but not that he is apologizing currently now. If Ethan had said instead, hey, I'm sorry for the way I acted back then, right? That would be different. I'm sorry for doing blackface when I did it. It was unacceptable. That would be different, right? Because it would have shown that he believed what he did was wrong, right? It would have shown that what he did was incorrect. It would have showed remorse for it. But instead, Ethan showed remorse for being called out for it. You know? Like if he wanted to show something, he could drop the lawsuits. Exactly. I think if Ethan Klein dropped the lawsuits, that would be a very clear-cut example of him trying to, you know, reconcile for the harm that he caused. Right? No apology that he makes is valid so long as the lawsuits are still active. Genuinely speaking. But if he dropped the lawsuits, that would be one example that I would take as, you know, him actually being slightly sincere, that he actually cares about changing. Alexandra Starr, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello. We're talking about Ethan Klein. I'm so sorry. Right, but that's what accountability means. I think he's too prideful and too vindictive to do that, though. I agree, which is why his apology should not be taken seriously. Right? so long as his actions betray what he actually believes or what he actually says he believes, no apology that he makes should be taken seriously. Right? And that's my point. Ethan Klein 2 years ago never actually genuinely apologized for his slur usage, for being reactionary, for his blackface. But people took, right, his words when he says, I'm not racist, at face value based on nothing. Because I think all too often do white people extend other white people the charitability of not being racist, right? All too often. All too often. They don't listen to the actual words, or they don't see the actual actions. They just hear his words being like, I'm no longer racist, right? And then they're like, good enough for me. He's different now. Based on nothing. Right? And I still think that Ethan could have changed. But he had not demonstrated that he was actually willing to change, and nobody actually held him accountable to show that he actually needed to change. Right? Ethan did not apologize for any of that behavior, like sincerely, but he was still rewarded with a platform. Right? He was still rewarded with leftovers. Right? He was still rewarded with being accepted into like the left-wing space. And that's the problem. Did Jennifer Lawrence also did this last year? Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence praises pal Amy Schumer for her medal and standing up for the causes she believes in amid immense fire. Right? I'm not saying that because Jennifer Lawrence did this, she should now be exiled from like the pro-Palestinian movement, but she has to acknowledge why this was wrong. Right? She has to acknowledge why this was incorrect. Why she was invalid for doing this. Right? You can't just sweep this under the rug being like, oh, well, that never happened. I'm now pro-Palestinian because it's moral to do that, when it was moral back then too. Right? And we as the left, it is our job to try to understand, why did she believe this back then? And what made her get to the position that she has now? Right? Because we can use that to change the minds of other people. We can't just be like, okay, you're on our side, your work is done. Here, have a lollipop. You know? Juggling Dough, thank you for the 5-month resubscription. Right? But let's see Ethan's response to the Chris Kunstler video.
Podcast has decided to return to posting on TikTok.
I'm well aware that I am not a perfect activist. I've made a lot of mistakes.
You're not an activist at all. Now he's trying to rebrand himself as an activist. Listen, I'm not a perfect activist. You're not an activist. He tried to get every pro-Palestinian voice on Twitch banned. All of them. In January of 2024, from October 2023 to September of 2025, he's tried and made it his mission to get every single pro-Palestinian voice on this platform banned. All of them. And now he's trying to rebrand himself as an activist. Do I have to say my thing again? Like, I'm sorry. If your compilation for saying the N-word is longer than your compilation of defending Palestinian emancipation, you're not an activist. If your compilation for saying the N-word is longer than your compilation, right, humanizing the Palestinian people, you're not an activist. You're a bad person. You're a bad person. I think Ethan probably has more footage of him in blackface than he does defending Palestinians. I'm not even joking. There's more content of Ethan Klein in blackface than there is of him defending Palestinians.
Spoken from emotion, and I've at times lashed out.
At times.
I've rashly said things that were incorrect, but I've always strived to learn and to correct myself. But have I consistently spoken against the violent subjugation of the Palestinian people?
No! Yeah. Genuinely, no. I need to know what his definition of consistently is. If he means once every 3 to 5 months, he says, after running defense for Israel, hey, I think Israel goes so far sometimes, then maybe, yeah, consistently. You know, one post in 2021, and then every 5 months being like, in response to somebody calling him out for not talking about Palestine, being like, I always talk about how bad Israel is. Then yeah, if you consider once every 5 months to be consistently, then sure. Yeah, he's consistently once every 5 months humanizing the Palestinian people, even though he spends all of the time in between those 5 months trying to get pro-Palestinian voices deplatformed, right? Criticizing like Palestinian protesters, chastising Palestinian resistance, defending Israel's right to use violence against Palestinian resistance, defending Israel bombing hospitals, universities, right? Committing war crimes, ignoring the hostages that Israel has consistently and still holds. You realize that he just keeps reading the same tweet he made years ago? Yeah, that's it. Again, he never actually apologizes, right? Ethan never says in the moment, I'm sorry for this thing that I've done. Where he says, I've apologized before. Ethan does not say, right now, I defend Palestinians' right to self-determination, right? Or a Palestinian, like, you know, secular state that is not built on genocide. He says, oh, I've always, in the past, defended Palestinians. He always points to how, in the past, he's defended Palestinians, but never just defends Palestinians. He knows he can do that, right? He knows that he can just say, hey, I support Palestinian emancipation. Right? I stand against the apartheid state of Israel. He can say that. You don't have to point to you doing it before in the past, because that's what he's doing, chat. Here. Hold on. What he's doing is, this is a timeline, right? And this is now. That's in now. Right? What he's doing is he's saying, no, guys, listen. I talked about it before. I talked about Palestinian emancipation before. If you go back to this time, which was like 2 months ago, right? He's saying, oh, no, guys, listen, I talked about it before. And it just keeps going back and back and back and back until you realize that what he's mentioning is a singular time for a singular Instagram post in 2021. If you genuinely break down what he says, is he keeps referring to the previous time that he referred to something the previous time, and he's only talking about a singular post in 2021. That is it. That's it. That's it. He's like, when he says consistently, like, no, guys, listen, here and here and here and here and here. Look at all the times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different times I've talked about Palestinian people being human beings. Right? But you break it down, and like this time, he's talking about where he talked about it before. This time, he's talking about where he talked about it before. This time, he talked about where he talked about it before. And then you realize that literally all roads lead back to this one singular post. And that is the only time he's talked about it. That's it. That's it. He also does this for his apologies, by the way. He says, oh no, listen, I apologize for my blackface. I always apologize for my blackface, right? People bring it up to me every month and I apologize for it. And then you realize that like 2 months ago when somebody brought it up, he said, I apologize for it 2 months ago. And then 2 months before that, he says, oh, I apologize for it 2 months ago. And then 2 months before that, he says, oh, I apologize for it 2 months ago. So he never actually says, I'm sorry in any of these individual times, and barely even here, right? He just refers to a previous time where he claims to have said, I'm sorry. That's it. That's all he does.
This Instagram post is from May. May 15th, 2021. This is a post from 14 years ago on a forgotten Reddit account.
I thought nothing on this account was serious. I thought every post from this account was a troll. So is Ethan admitting that this pedo troll account actually maintains his serious beliefs about how he actually feels about these situations? Right? This is what Ethan Klein is saying. Ethan Klein himself is saying that this account, this pedo troll account, actually accurately, right, lays out how he feels about things. Because he's using it as an example of him speaking out for Palestinians. As his sincere thoughts. I thought it was fake. I thought it was only a troll.
I don't agree with Israeli Zionism or West Bank settlements. That's from 14 years ago. Chris knows that hating me is a...
That's also like not anything. I'm sorry. That's literally nothing. I'm sorry. Being against West Bank settlements is like not pro-Palestinian activism. It's humanity. It's literally nothing. I think it's less than nothing. Like, I'm sorry. Because if you were for West Bank settlements, you would be for war crimes. You would be a war criminal. You would be directly advocating for war crimes if you defended West Bank settlements. So, like, I'm sorry if that does not compute as like activism. You feel me? In my mind. But Obama was against it. Does it mean anything? Yeah.
booming industry, and he's reaped the benefits of it. Every negative TikTok he makes about me is reshared by Hasan Piker and Taylor Lorenz. And the only time Hasan ever invited him on his broadcast was to talk about me. I actually scrolled Chris's entire feed, and the only time Hasan ever shares his videos is when he's talking about me, which is
he's... You know what? Go for it. Go for it. Sure. 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 That's a lie, by the way. I genuinely don't care. I'll give it to him. Okay. And... does it make it incorrect that Hasan shared it? I'm sorry. I even if it being a lie, it's not surprising. Ethan Klein is a liar, right? But even if it's true, so what? What Chris said was not incorrect. Also, you know what? This is a challenge for Ethan directly. I'll give Ethan the same challenge that I gave Wesley. Please, find me a compilation that is not from freaking 4 years ago, from the last 2 years where you like actually defend Palestinian emancipation, where you don't bring up like how bad the pro-Palestinian movement is. Is it possible? Can somebody do it? Is it possible? Is there a moment where like Ethan Klein has actually been like, you know, I defend the Palestinian people and they are under, you know, they're the victims of the genocide perpetuated by Israel, where he doesn't bring up Hasan or Denims or Frogan or insert leftist content creator here about how bad they are? Like, is that possible where he actually spent any time talking about how, like, the plight of Palestinians without being like, but like Hamas? Genuinely.
Shame, because Chris makes a lot of really good pro-Palestinian content. And
you know what? I won't speak. I won't speak because I, off the top of my head, don't have a clip of Ethan Klein talking about Chris Kunstler specifically. But I don't think if he ever talked about Chris Kunstler, it was in a positive light. I don't have the clip in my repertoire. But like, if he ever talked about Chris before, I don't think it would be in a positive light. I just don't. Called him Chris Cum Guzzler. No, Chris is a white man, so Ethan respects his opinion. No, I don't think that's true. I don't. We'll watch Chris's response to it. But like, he's him being like, Chris makes a lot of good pro-Palestinian content. It's a different tune. It is a different tune. I'm sorry. He's now trying to launder his reputation as being like pro-Palestinian content. You know what I mean? Which he's not. He's only literally only ever demonizes pro-Palestinian content creators. That's it. That's it. And Chris all the time, why is he glazing him? He's not glazing Chris. He's glazing pro-Palestinian content because he's trying to come across as pro-Palestinian himself. That's it. Right? He hates Chris the same way he hates the rest of us. Right? Because we are actually pro-Palestinian. Right? But he needs to come across to the TikTok audience as pro-Palestinian. And so that's why he's like, Chris makes a lot of good pro-Palestinian content. By the way, I'm pro-Palestine, guys. Please don't look at the repertoire of things that I've talked about for the last 2 years. Please, I'm pro-Palestine. Please accept that. Please accept that I'm pro-Palestine. That's it. That's what he's doing.
not to mention that on his YouTube channel, his top 3 most popular posts are all about me.
Yeah, because you are pro-Israel, Ethan. Yeah. You are a bad guy. You are no good. He's like, Chris doesn't actually care about Palestine because he's making videos about me, who is pro-Palestine. Please, guys. Please. Please, guys. Please. 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 That's all he's on TikTok for, chat. All that he's on TikTok for is just to be like, please, guys, please accept that I'm pro-Palestine. Please. Please, please. Please, I'm pro-Palestine, guys. Right? Isn't it great to be pro-Palestine? Like, he's walking into like a bar with a fake mustache and a wig on. Hey guys, how you do, fellow kids? We are all pro-Palestine here, aren't we? and trying to like just act like what the last 2 years of content just doesn't exist. No, we're not doing something. We're not actually doing something pro-Palestine because he doesn't want to, because he's pro-Israel, right? Like that's it. He's not actually pro-Palestine. He could legitimately do something that's pro-Palestine, like I don't know, draw the lawsuits that are very clear slap suits against pro-Palestinian creators, take down his pro-Israel content of him demonizing Palestinian content creators and Palestinians and protesters, right? But he doesn't want to, because he's not pro-Palestine. He wants to appear as pro-Palestine to keep his audience, or get our audience to come back to watching him. This is it.
Of course, Chris is not looking to change his mind on me, as he has a vested interest in me remaining a cartoonishly evil, one-dimensional Zionist. Chris is a valuable and effective voice in advocating for Palestinian.
Stop. Okay, somebody, you need, please find me clips. You know what? I'll do it. It won't even be difficult, right? I just have to go to like the Leftovers H3 subreddit and search up Chris Kunzler. It's literally not even difficult to find what Ethan has said about him. Where is it at? Oh, is it really easy? 1 month ago. Last night's episode? No, don't even need last night's episode. Right? I went before this TikTok was posted. Right? This is 1 month ago.
Sean DeBlack.
Hey, wait, that's me. I got mentioned 1 month. I got mentioned last month. I didn't even know. What is going on? I'm just minding my own business. He says your name often. Why? I don't even talk about him. I literally don't talk about him. I went for the last like 4 months. I go out of my way to just not talk about this man. He still insists he doesn't know who you are, by the way. Sure. All right, now I'm making it my mission to ratio Ethan on TikTok. It is now my mission to stitch Ethan's TikToks and ratio him. Because I know that will piss him off. 1 month ago mentions who's watching. Apparently y'all aren't watching either, because nobody told me that I got mentioned once again. So either y'all have learned to like consume Ethan's content on the side and don't bring it here, or you stopped watching. Which, respect. If you guys spend my free time watching these losers, some of y'all did. He's talking about him more often than he defends Palestinians. Okay, that's a low bar though. Let's be real. That is a low bar to clear. You're just saying I talk about him a single time. You know what I mean? This is the same thing as saying that I talked about him once. You know, like, I mean, which is true. Yeah, more than twice in 20 years.
He co-signed Sean DeBlack. Chris Kuntler. That's what I call him. He's this kid who's always yelling all the time.
Chris Kunzler. Whatever happened to Chris Kunzler puts out good pro-Palestinian content, Ethan? Whatever happened to Chris is a good voice for Palestinians on the left, Ethan? This was literally last month. I'm sorry, it's just a different tune, Ethan.
Dimensional Zionist. Chris is a valuable and effective voice in advocating for Palestinian freedom. However,
this is how Ethan talks about people that he views as Good, effective voices advocating for Palestinian freedom, by the way.
Cuntler. That's what I call him. He's this kid who's always yelling all the time.
Chris Kunzler, I didn't even know he was involved in any of this at all. I just saw a video he made about Palestine. I was like, oh, I like this kid. The next time I saw him, he was just shit talking to me. So now he's cum guzzler.
He's Chris cum guzzler. His name is Kunzler, which is so close to cum guzzler. Chris cum guzzler.
What was the reference to that name, Ethan? What was the reference behind that name? Just curious. Just wondering. Just wondering. I wonder what the reference behind that name was. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Here, I'll run it back.
He's Chris cum guzzler. His name is Kunzler, which is so close to cum guzzler. Chris cum guzzler. I saw him doing a debate with Lonerbox.
I don't know. I don't know what the name Kunzler would have been referring to personally, but given Ethan's track record, yeah, it could be anything. Could be a reference to anything. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. He was talking about you, Blackman, right before. Yeah.
Always yelling. He has like veins popping out of his neck, and Lonerbox was like.
I still want to point out that Hasan said my name first because I am Hasan's best friend. That's right, Chris. Jam overzealots. You wish we were good as friends of Hasan that I am. We're the bestest of friends, chat. Cope. You're lucky I'm in my born again Christian era. You know what I mean? You look, I got saved again, all right? Because you believe me, I'm not missing the next rapture, all right? When it happens, I'm going. I will become close. Round 2, I'm there. Trust and believe. So I gotta watch what I say. Thanks, CGG. Thank you for the 2 months. Much appreciated. It's in October. Yes. Vanessa HBIC. Thank you for the tier 1, by the way. Much appreciated. That was next door to Hasan, and Hasan lets him use the stream room when he's not there. Yeah. I will say, I will never forget about how I had to evacuate during the fires, and Hasan never even tried to offer me a place to stay. He was like, you're dying on your own. I was like, Hasan, please let me in. And he was like, nope, I gotta pick up Will and Caroline because they're my real friends. And they're not black. I remember he saved his white friends. I knew it. He made sure to specify. Anyway, what are we? Focus, chat. We're talking about Ethan. They had Farley. It was all for the dog, who is also white.
Slightly raising his voice. I think even raising your voice is a stretch. And he goes, stop yelling at me. He gets all fucking, he recoils. I was like, bro, just go back to cum guzzling.
You ever see the clip of AB diving to save Ethan from a fall a whole 2 inches? Any clip that you would show me would pale in comparison to the image that I just made in my mind of that happening. It's worse. No, it's better. I promise. Okay. No, fine. It's exactly what you're thinking. Stop. No. Okay. It better be what it better be exactly what I'm expecting in my mind, or I will be disappointed. It's worth it. You aren't prepared in the least? Is giving Bodyguard the movie time? Stop. No, it's not. Please. I need to see it. Okay, we have one day of fun. One day of getting into the Ethan Klein drama slap fun, okay? But I need to know. Watching it half speed, it might be cooler that way. It's literally completely meaningless. It's quite literally completely meaningless, but I need to know. But the dopamine. All right, we'll wait for it. I do think it's funny that I literally opened up this random clip, right? That doesn't even mention me, and I'm the first word in the clip.
He co-signed Sean DeBlack, Chris Kuntler.
Wait, why don't I have a cool name? I'm telling you, there's a name that Ethan could call me, but he's scared. He ain't about it like that. Is that willing to go full in? Yeah, because he's scared. He's a loser. You don't want one because it can't help himself from being racist. About these screeds. He's never said your name normally. Yeah, but it's fine. Charles clicking his vape. It's not a vape. It's an anxiety pen. Cody. My phone actually clip. Here's a screenshot. I will not click the screenshot because I need the actual clip. I don't want to ruin my perception. Play with your babe, Cody. Okay, while we wait, I need to play the Dean clip. Dean Withers' anxiety pin is like this. It's literally the second. Wait, Asmongold watched it? Okay. What did Asmongold have to say about it?
What is this here?
Pin. I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do!
Just for context, Dean Withers is the biggest political progressive TikToker and sometimes referred as the bro whisperer. Now he's mad because during a debate about Trump, some viewer called his anxiety pen a vape.
Okay, so cut the shit. It's not a vape. All right, it's an anxiety pin, and God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is, at this point, getting...
Is this real? Like, there's no way this is real, right? I mean, like, this has got to be like a meme? I mean,
ridiculous, Cody. So please,
justified crash out
for the final and for the billionth time, will you please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pin?
Yo, you really got me.
Get the fuck. Just
for this.
Get the fuck out.
Get him out.
I hate women.
Oh man, I don't even know what's real and what's not. Like, I don't. I legitimately don't even know if this is real or not. But this guy doesn't. But I don't. Oh God, I don't even know where to begin. Because I need it.
Don't worry, guys. I know the perfect person to calm this dude down.
Fine. Okay, hold on. Should I figure out which clip is better? Should I watch the shorting clip? Sorry, it started playing. It started playing. I just.
I'm okay. Thank you, Adrian.
Oh, I probably should play the original thing. But yeah, it's. Why did he jump so hard? Why did he jump so hard?
We don't need it. Okay, but you can definitely see better here. Can we? All right, so I'm gonna. Yeah. So I got. No problem. Oh, look at that. It's all shaky.
Don't do that. Oh yeah, this one's missing a few screws.
You want to hold just the bear?
Just make sure I don't fall off the table.
Yeah.
No, I got it. All right, back up. All right, be quick with it. I'm okay. Thank you, Adrian. I mean, you got it, right? We got it? Did we get it? Dan owes me an apology. Dan, apologize.
Why did he do that? I have no idea. What is this lunatic laughing? I have no idea. I'm so confused. I'm so confused what this turned into. What happened to this podcast, bro? When they're not doing a song content, it's kind of lame. Did that match what you expected? No, actually. It was actually more hammed up than I actually expected. And I can't tell if he's doing it for a joke.
I'm okay. Thank you.
But like, that was...
I'm okay. Thank you, Adrian. I mean, you got it, right? We got it? Did we get it?
It's kind of weird, that stuff where he thinks he's the hero. I'm confused. This actually made me more confused than anything. Imagine Nicki seeing this. Honestly, I hope Nicki's disappointed. Just because I don't like Nicki Minaj either. Oh, he loves that freak. I mean, yeah, for how much he's getting paid, it makes sense to me. But yeah, let's finish this off, by the way.
Advocating for Palestinian freedom. However, he doesn't ever have to face the complexities of having friends and family that were born in Israel, who oppose the government and
like, I'm sorry, it's not complex. If you are pro-genocide just because your friends and family live inside of the country doing the genocide, you are a bad person. That doesn't or shouldn't change anything for you. If you are actually against genocide, nothing should really change that. Please watch Christian's response. No, I was planning on just stopping after watching this in the line of videos, and I wasn't going to watch Christian's response to this after this video was over, just to get full context. I was actually going to do the opposite of that for no reason.
who have done nothing wrong, and how it feels to see people calling them Nazis and wishing death on them for nothing more than being born somewhere. Is their suffering more important than the Palestinians? No, obviously not. But as someone that is a dual citizen who spent a lot of time in Israel...
Ethan has now spent, in this video, more time humanizing Israelis than even talking about the plight of Palestinians, by the way. Once again.
Israeli family, of course, I'm going to be more sensitive to this issue. despite me caring very much about Palestinian people. This is about civilians. I share a deep sympathy for the Palestinian people. Their suffering, their displacement, and their struggle for dignity are real and deserve urgent recognition. Has my activism been perfect? Of course not even close. Are there things that I wish I said differently or not at all? Yes. But to support that I'm some mouthpiece for Israeli propaganda is completely
Why
false.
does he not just say what he should have said differently, right? If he truly believed that, he would say, this is what I should have said differently, right? This is what I believe, so there's no confusion. Like, it's not like you're dead. You can still say things. You can still walk back your belief system, right? He did it slightly about one of the most inconsequential things that he's done or said in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, it was callous of him to say, like, I want to go to Israel to see how beautiful it is. But, like, in the grand scheme of his, like, pro-Israel activism, that's what he's actually doing activism for. Like, that's, like, number 17 on the list of things you have to apologize for. I'm sorry. You got to start apologizing for more. Keep going. Does it cut out the worst part? Probably.
And it's totally unsupported. I'm not pro-Israel, and I never have been. I've always been pro-civilians. And you won't find any evidence to the contrary, no matter how hard Chris tries to
Yes,
convince
you will. Like, I'm sorry. and the evidence is in, right? The proof is in the pudding. Is that the saying? I think that's the saying. The proof is in the pudding, right? It's Ethan Klein's priorities. What you choose to talk about and what you choose to not talk about and what you choose to focus on, right, is evidence of what you care about. You know what I mean? If I claim to care about students, like 5th grade students' math scores, right? And then I become a science teacher and I start teaching science and I start talking about how science is the most important freaking subject for 5th graders to learn. And I go out of my way to get all the math teachers fired. Can I sit there and actively claim that I care about 5th graders' math scores? Not really. My actions would be directly contrary, right, to the words that I'm saying. I can claim I care about 5th grade students' math scores, right? But I go out of my way to get every single 5th grade math teacher fired. And then I'm now surprised when people claim that I'm anti 5th grade math. I'm like, what have I said that was ever anti 5th grade math when you spent your entire time trying to get the math teachers fired? That's what Ethan is doing. He spent all of his time trying to get pro-Palestinian activists fired, deplatformed, taken off the internet, doxxed, harassed, death threats sent to them, sued. And now he's surprised when people don't view him as a bastion of pro-Palestinian support. Like, why does that surprise you? What way to quantify it? I'm known for my analogies. Thank you very much.
you that I'm lying.
The H3 podcast has
so let's see what Chris's response to this
Ethan
is.
Klein.
Why is this
the
quality so bad? Hey, he got 3,000 views now. Good for you, Ethan. Good for you. Where'd my comment go? He deleted it? No, probably just isn't showing up for some reason. Right? I tripping? And now, Chad, he couldn't have blocked me, because if he's blocked me, then I wouldn't be able to see the post at all. Maybe it's just sorted by top comments, and my comment's just not at the top. Let's see. Wait, where did my boo comment go? Let me try again. Boo. Post. All right.
The H3 podcast has decided to return to
451. That one comment is me, wherever it is. Wherever it is. I have one like on the comment because I liked my own comment. I should be around here somewhere. Hello? Where's my comment at?
the H3 podcast.
No, it can't be me. Hold on. Hold on. We gotta get to the bottom of this. Comment something positive? Maybe he's watching right now? Nah, it can't be his. Can't be the case. Wow. Stellar video, Ethan. I would never comment anything negative about you. Smiley face. If I say Sean like his crash out of my comments, I just want to know where my comments are, bro. I'm trying to say something nice. Something positive. Ethan would never delete my comments. Yeah, I know it's still here. Well, one of my comments is still here. So is this one. But not the one I made about 2K. Sad face. Wait, what was that? What just popped up on my screen? I didn't see it. Quick chat rewind for me. Anyway, what did Chris say?
At least 75 people. So Donald, the boycott. There, Javier
Wait,
Bardem's in.
Where's the? Oh, this is it. Hello?
This.
I'm not pro-Israel, and I never have been. I've always been pro-civilians. And you won't find any evidence to the contrary, no matter how hard Chris tries to convince you that I'm lying.
So after nearly 6 months, I finally got the response from Ethan Klein, and the response suffers from the same problem as all of Ethan Klein's other content. This man cannot remember anything that he has ever said or done, because just a few weeks ago, he was calling me the C word on his podcast, and now he's saying I'm a great...
Exactly. Precisely.
voice for Palestine, and he's saying that we can't find content of him being pro-Israel. Ethan, your video 2 videos ago was literally you apologizing for being pro-Israel. You apologized for saying that you thought Israel was multicultural and this amazing society, and that you had wanted to take your family there so that you could show everyone that Israel wasn't this racist Jim Crow society. That's literally Hasbara. If you really are against Zionism and think that it is a racist project, why on earth would you be wanting to show people that actually there's this amazing different side to Israel? And when it comes to examples of Ethan being pro-Israel, there are too
So like,
many...
remember when it benefits him? Yeah, because he thinks his audience will never go and check, which he's right for most of them, right? He thinks his audience will just take his word at face value. Your blue comment is there. I saw a person. I saw it. W. Also like the comment, chatter. But my 2K comment's not there anymore. Sad face.
To count. You can look at my longer form videos over on YouTube. You can look at other creators like Overzealots, Noah Sampson, Bad Empanada. There are many people who have produced hours and hours of content which show Ethan spewing Zionist talking points.
However, he doesn't ever have to face the complexities of having friends and family that were born in Israel, who oppose the government and who have done nothing wrong. And how it feels to see people...
I'm sorry, does Ethan have the only 12 Israeli leftists as his friends and family? Are like the 12 Israeli leftists who are against like the occupation of Palestine and against the genocide of Palestinians from a moral basis, like just Ethan's friends and family? Your 2K comment is there too? Oh, I didn't see it. LOL. Considering that he thinks Elon never done anything wrong, that's true. What do we think of Bad Empanada? I don't necessarily care to litigate the Bad Empanada conversation, honestly. So I will not be doing that. You can think whatever you want to think about Bad Empanada. Yeah, we don't think anything.
And wishing death on them for nothing more than being born somewhere.
And just on this topic of me not understanding the complexities, I know Israelis that I look up to and that I like. I was taught by Ilan Pappé. Ilan Pappé is someone who served in the Six-Day War for Israel in 1967. He is someone who still lives in Israel most of the time. And yet, I don't think that he is a Zionist, and I don't just hate him. Because the difference between him and you, Ethan, is that he is anti-Zionist. Whilst you may say things like Israel is doing genocide, oh, Israel's beginning was violent and wrong, you still try and defend Israel. You are unwilling to abandon this idea.
I agree, honestly. Like, genuinely, I just don't necessarily care to, like, litigate it. And I'm not going to change your mind, and you're not going to change my mind, and you're definitely not changing the people's mind who, like, hate Bad Empanada or whatever. Right? And so it becomes a conversation that I think it becomes less effective the more it goes on.
That Jewish people need a state, because when we look at what that state has been for Palestinians, you yourself admit that it has been extreme violence, mass murder and oppression. So why do you cling to it? Why do you feel the need to defend it? Just because you or your wife live there, just because you know people there, does not make it okay. It doesn't change anything. Palestinians are the victims in this situation, and they are the ones who need their situation addressed. And so I am always going to place Israeli feelings far, far lower than this, because they are the ones who have never offered an equitable solution. They are the ones who continually deny Palestinians their freedom. And that is why I view you as a problem, because you are unwilling to abandon Zionism. That is literally it. And I would like it if you did that. I don't want you to remain a cartoonishly evil Zionist. You have a massive platform. You could use it for good things. You could start posting and talking about Palestine rather than just making jokes about Aaron Bushnell and bringing people on like Lonabox and Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib.
I'm not pro-Israel, and I never have.
True. You're going to argue about Bad Empanada again? No. We're done with the Bad Empanada conversation. I do want to see what he had to say about, let's see, where's it at? Ugly, racist, crash out? What did, okay, this did capture my attention. Oh, right. He's posting short form content now. Apparently. Drastic action to save the show is the first thing I see.
Where you going, man? Where you going?
I don't really care about this. Wait, Aiden Ross responded to Ethan? What? Aiden Ross crashed out of Ethan Klein insults him and makes a video about Twitch/cuff him. You're a 45-year-old disgusting sellout, you and your wife. What? Talking to Gabe and new crew? More Aiden Ross? You know, let him fight, honestly. Oh, wait, he's going after the that one Twitch employee? Once again? That's not surprising. And then he just does more like Keemstar news, which is the largest section in this. Oh, maybe that's the drastic action to save the show. He just like cozies up the Keemstar. Dang, this show's kind of sad. Wait, okay, hold on. Is this one show where you just bring up Hasan? Wait. Never mind. Never mind.
Somebody tells me they like Hasan Piker. Yeah, tell them, girl.
Cheers.
Exactly. Dude.
Never mind. Never mind. I don't know what I expected. I don't know what I expected. You know what? That's on me. That's on me. Sure. I'm not even, you know what? It's fine, whatever. So yeah, that's Ethan Klein's return to TikTok. I hope it's short-lived. What's the hand sign even? It's depending on bad up and out again. Stop. The next tweet will get you timed out. Or the tweet. The next message will get you timed out. I know, I always say tweet. It's always happens when someone mentions bad up and out. And I understand why. It just becomes the like least productive conversation. And I don't care to relitigate it for the 12th millionth time. Just ban bad up and out in chat. Bad up and out is banned in the chat. People say BE to get around the ban, I think. Did we just remove the word B from the chat? You can't say B ever again. Can't say B, you can't say Ben, you can't say Bean, you can't say become. It's just gone. Can't say bet. Yeah. Yeah. Is this Shaun the Black then? Well, there's no BE in Shaun the Black. Are you trying to say that I'm the BS? Anyway, let's see this. What I wanted to see. That like U.S. influencers are meeting with freaking Benjamin Netanyahu apparently.
One thing I would like to raise, which was actually my first published paper,
Twitter was how you and the Likud party are cut from the same ideological cloth as Trump and the GOP in America. And so specifically with Charlie Kirk's assassination, who was a big mentor of mine, who's my first mentor in the space, evangelicals, from all my research, evangelicals are the reason that Israel has been supported in public sphere outside of just Jews. So with Charlie's assassination and with the
she's not incorrect. Like, saying that like the evangelical base is the, very chiefly responsible. Volume, please. I can turn it up a little bit, but like she's just talking loud. With like the reason why Israel is so closely tied to like the conservative political ideology in this country. Right? That's not necessarily incorrect, but like she's saying that's a good thing. She's like, that's good.
kind of trajectory that we see with like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. I guess I'm curious about what's another game plan if we lose evangelical support for the state of Israel. What's our backup plan to be strong, like outside of the diaspora?
Christian influencers. Okay. You said you talked about the woke right, and you said I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke right, because
I'm sorry, I don't think that's gonna work. I don't. That's an argument bad up and out. I'll time them out for a day. Katie. They can come back tomorrow.
You know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're lunatic. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast money.
Wait, what NGOs are paying like Candace Owens to be anti-Israel? What NGOs are paying Tucker Carlson to be anti-Israel? Like,
I_is_CapKit is paying my rent $5. Don't know if it was mentioned, but isn't the ACLU highly influenced TikTok now because of the anti-Semitism on it? So, we could say if someone calls Ethan out on his BS, he can just get them banned for being anti-Semitic.
don't you mean, I assume you meant the ADL instead of the ACLU. Thank you for the $5 IS Cat Kit. And yes, ADL has ties with the moderation side of TikTok now. And how bad it gets, it's kind of up in the air, right? Because the sale has not officially gone through yet. But we'll have to wait and see.
We have governments vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay, and you can't find.
Is that why Ethan ran TikTok? He thought it would be a safe space for him. I don't know if Ethan ran TikTok because he thought it would be safe for like holding Zionist positions, but instead that he ran a TikTok because he thought that TikTok as a whole would be more amenable to his positions than like other spaces. Right? And that may be a part of it. You know what I mean? Or does he look animated in that frame? Who looks animated? It's safer than Twitter. I mean, yeah, because he got basically ran off of Twitter. Can you imagine another country holding these meetings publicly without a shitstorm? No, actually. Like, imagine if it was like freaking China. China meeting with American influencers to give them talking points about how to make people more pro-China. You know what I mean? Would be like, I mean, Tim Pool got called out for like taking like Russia money, you know? like being bought out from Russia, and that was a huge story. Like people don't necessarily care about that, or usually, but the right picked up on it a little bit too, and it was being posted everywhere. But this is just kind of like business as usual. You feel me?
The fight with cavalry, that doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that.
What he's doing is why he visited the U.S. It would be less weird if he was doing it in Israel. Yeah, like every one of these influencers should be required to register as like foreign state media, in my personal opinion. You know? Like they're getting talking points directly from a head of a foreign state to massage messaging for the American populace. Wait, you said the greatest threat is Ukraine? Just now? Did I miss that? Oh no, Tim Pool. Oh, I got so distracted for a second. Tim Pool did say that. Yes. I was like, Netanyahu said that? I was confused for a second. Yeah, Tim Pool did say that. He did say our the greatest threat to America is Ukraine. Tim Pool is so silly.
I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged.
How far do you go with branding influences foreign state media?
And the most important...
As far as I say, and no farther. Because it doesn't matter anyway. Not like we have any power.
Purchase that is going on right now is class TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. Exactly. Very good. And
and not Twitch. Thank you. Never Twitch. Don't even look at Twitch. What is Twitch? Twitch is not a thing. Never heard of that social media site. Thank you very much.
We have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him.
Bro, he was Hitler saluting like 6 months ago. But no, that's like, you know, a right-wing fascist who cozies up to like Nazis, who does like the Hitler salute, is not a enemy to like the state of Israel. Is a friend to the state of Israel because Israel thrives off of growing anti-Semitic rhetoric, right? As right-wing anti-Semitism, oxymoron, right? But as like Nazism from the right grows, Israel gets to market that to Jewish people, being like, see, you must come to Israel now to be safe, right? You must come to Israel to be safe, and this was why Israel needs to exist, and why we need to expel all Palestinians from the land so that the Jews can be safe in Israel, actually, because of right-wing Nazi people, right? So that's why like Elon Musk is a friend to the state of Israel, because it works to serve Israel's purpose.
Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot, and I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends, or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
That is insane. I'm surprised they let this be recorded at all. Because like, I guess there's no accountability mechanisms here, right? So of course, record your propaganda meetings. Why not? You know, who's going to stop us? As Netanyahu would say. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, so it would be correct. Like there would be nobody who would stop him. But like, that's so wild. That they're just like so brazen and just like doing propaganda. But yeah. To give era transparency as a reason they spoke in English, the real propaganda meetings are held in Hebrew. Not necessarily, because like American evangelical like Christian TikTokers can't speak Hebrew, right? And so I think this is true for like press briefings, right? There's truth to like that for press briefings, but for this is like full live, just propaganda, open and honest, because like There's no accountability mechanism. Like there's literally no. Imagine if Vladimir Putin sat down in the U.S. with Tim Pool and other like right-wing media figures, and telling them how to like make Ukraine the biggest enemy of the U.S. or whatever. That would be insane. That would be absolute lunacy, right? And it would be seen as such. But like this is just like Israel's just doing it because they can. Anyway, there's a little bit more with that, but we'll get into a little bit more of that. Actually, no, this is the same thing. Yeah, tomorrow, potentially. It's the weekend, so don't have any work to need to get done, but I do have to start planning for my trip back. That will be happening soon. So look out for an IRL road trip stream with me and my doggy back to Los Angeles. Look out for that. The streams shouldn't be changing that much. Right. Or theoretically, what I could do, I can just stream afterwards. Like because I'm not driving for like too long because my dog needs to rest sometimes. But I just like get to a hotel and I stream at the hotel. Like it'd be on like over at chat while driving. Chat won't even be open. It'll be TTS. So I won't even have a chat open. I'm not gonna run through a red light like extra heavily. Or did something similar. I mean, people do it all the time for like road trip streams. Do a subathon while you're at it, and that's not happening. That'd be kind of crazy though. Anyway, look out for that. Any final thoughts, chat? Is there any new David news, by the way? Oh, we are 50 followers away from 35K. 5 followers away. Stop in Texas. I will be stopping near Texas. A little. David's friends say they thought Celeste was his girlfriend, shocked that she was 14. Is he still not arrested? Friends who partied with... Okay. They say he's moving? Moving where? Friends who partied with and knew singer David were under the impression that Celeste Rivas was his girlfriend and were shocked when the news came out that she was only 14. Sources who hang out sources who party in LA... Sources who party in the LA music scene tell TMZ that they saw David and Celeste at parties and hangouts. It appears to them that they were a couple. Okay, hold on, I have to pause this. This could potentially mean that the person that we did see on some of the stream footage was actually Celeste. Because this is what I was saying, is that there was no shot that he wasn't bringing her around other people. You know what I mean? He was bringing her out, like, as his girlfriend. Which is absolutely insane, considering that he was, like, 19 to 20 years old, and she was 14. And so, like, there's a non-zero chance that she was, like, you know, brought to, like, freaking phase parties, and brought to clubs with, like, a fake ID, and stuff like that. Please don't, care. He's obviously pedo. Yeah. There's more to this story, and nobody could tell that she's a child. They apparently say that they couldn't tell, right? But at the very least, just being like she looks kind of young. You know what I mean? Nobody was like, where are your parents at, little girl? Nobody at all. He broke his 20K lease and moved. Moved where? Like out of state? Further down it says that they thought she was 19 and in college. I told you. We were told under the impression that she was a student at USC. Friends believe Celeste was around 19, presenting herself as such. TNC broke the story. Law enforcement sources says Celeste had multiple fake IDs, which allowed her to pass off as an adult. I told you. Now the question is, how did she get the fake IDs? Who paid for the fake IDs? And why is David not arrested for this? At the very, very, very least, he trafficked this girl. Or they no one cares about young black women. Well, she's, I don't think she's black, right? She's brown, technically. But like, same thing stands. Right? He should be moving to a prison. Agreed. People who are now buzzing about it, about what they saw, tell TMZ one of the reasons they thought she was 18 is because she was hanging out in places that had age restrictions. To a certain extent, right? I would imagine if you were in a club, your first thought is not going to be like, this must be a 14-year-old who's hanging out with somebody that I know for a fact is like 20. But you have to have questions. You know? Like I can acknowledge that like you know for a fact that David's 20. And he's brazenly bringing her around into like clubs and bars with age limits being 18 plus. He doesn't seem worried about it, right? I can understand how your first thought is not, this must be a child. But is it not your second thought? You know what I mean? Is it not your third thought? Like, it would be like top 5 thoughts for me. If it's not your first thought, right? I'm like, okay, sure. But like, it gotta be, you gotta see this little girl and be like, she's a little bit young, you know? She looks like a child, right? You have to have questions. I mean, that would track an underage person in a club is not abnormal. It's not an underage person in a club. This is a 14-year-old who is brought, like, this is somebody like you're friends with. Like, imagine your friend who you know is 20, like you're the same age, right? You went to high school together. You know this person is 20 years old. And they're bringing somebody who looks like a child. You would have questions for that person. You feel me? If you see David be like, this is my girlfriend, and it looks like a child, you would be, I don't know. Before she disappeared, she was like 13, 12, 13 probably. No, this is during her disappearance, chat. This is when she's 14 years old. She disappeared from her hometown at the age of 12 or 13. And this is the time period between where she's like reported missing from her family, but she's like being trafficked and groomed by David during this point. Right? He didn't kill her when she was 13 and then carry her body around for like a year and a half, right? He trafficked her and groomed her, presented her as his girlfriend for some period of time after she was reported missing. And then somewhere between then, when she was reported missing, and she was found dead, she ended up being killed, right? So he was literally parading around Los Angeles with a 14-year-old like girlfriend, being 19 to 20. He got her a fake ID. He got her potentially, matching tattoos before she ran away with him. You know what I mean? And it's just it. That's it. There's nothing else. He's not arrested. He's apparently moved. Bro, throw this man in jail. Throw this man directly in jail. Put him in prison, please. Put him in prison. Because at the very least, he's a pedophile. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. He's a pedophile. Listen, I have a conspiracy theory in my head that he's being protected by his label. It's not necessarily a conspiracy theory. Like, yeah, his label is definitely protecting him. Because I think his label is complicit. Legitimately, I think his label is complicit. At the very least, his management is complicit. His agent's complicit. His label rep is complicit. Like, I think they might have hired somebody to kill her. Like, labels have a history of potentially being into some unsavory dealings, right? And if it would look bad for their budding star to be in a illicit, inappropriate, illegal relationship, they got rid of this person who was a liability. And they kind of botched that, and it came out. Wouldn't be unique. Wouldn't be unique. Crazy how sloppy they were. It makes you think about all the times that they weren't sloppy, In a way, FaZe Jason and them didn't know about this. Don't do that, chatter. It's very likely they didn't know about this. I don't think we need to be like, oh, we must implicate FaZe for this, right? The question I have is like, did David bring this child to the FaZe house, right? For like parties and stuff, when like if he went there, that is just a curiosity question. But I don't think that like Jason knew that David was a pedophile dating a 14-year-old. And that he killed this 14-year-old. I don't think that that's the case. But, yeah. That's where I have to call it currently, so far, right now. They were friends, but they weren't hanging out every day. Yeah. We know this. They were... Because they have live streamed their lives 24/7 for the last 18 months. Yeah. Any final thoughts, chat? The police not trying to seize his phone or do something with the iCloud? Probably not. You see Mark Maron's take on the comedy festival? No. I saw... his name's not Matt. What is his name?
Festival.
I saw a different person's take on it on TikTok. Mark Marin?
I don't know if you heard about that. This is true. There's a Riyadh...
Zach? Maybe it was Zach.
Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival. I mean, how do you even promote that? Like, from the folks that brought you 9/11, 2 weeks of laughter in the desert. Don't miss it. I mean, the same guy that's going to pay them is the same guy that paid that guy to bonesaw Jamal Khashoggi and put him in a fucking suitcase. But don't let that stop the yucks. It's going to be a good time. Full disclosure, I was not asked to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. So it's kind of easy for me to take the.
Honestly, this is El Bill Burr, honestly.
High road on this
Is this one of the impractical jokesters? I don't know comedy. Literally, comedy is the one thing that I know literally nothing about. I know Bill Burr. I know Kevin Hart. I know Andrew Schultz. And Dave Chappelle. Sebastian Maniscalco. Oh.
Easy to maintain your integrity when no one's offering to buy it out, you know.
True. Exactly.
There's a
I stand by
Riyadh
that.
Comedy Festival.
I stand by that. People get called out for having a sponsorship from an unsavory company, and I'm like, man, oof. Super easy to hold your integrity when you never get a sponsorship offers in the first place. Like, how didn't you know that BetterHelp was a bad company? You know, just good luck, I guess. Good luck, I guess. Not that BetterHelp just never gave me an offer. Ow. That hurt my head. I don't know why. Anyway, I have to go, chat. I gotta focus up. Focus up. Goodbye, YouTube chat. Or TikTok chat first. Okay, TikTok is gone. Goodbye, YouTube chat. Thank you for the 30 people who were watching. Do y'all just prefer to watch on YouTube? I guess. Alright, goodbye.